And we're rolling. Tim Kohls, what's good?
Not a whole lot,
It's good to have you, man.
right?
So go ahead.
I've just been sheltering in for so long, so it's nice to get back out,
Yeah. Fuck
Kinda-
yeah.
meet the whole world again.
Got to turn off my phone before I forget here. So you were just out at a show just now, right?
Yeah, checking out Green Jelly. That was pretty sweet.
Green Jelly,
Mm-hmm.
here locally.
Yeah, up at the Nichols Ranch.
Sick. I saw like a post from Bart. It looked kind of scenic up there. Is it like a good location?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Like, it's very dirt road. You got to get, headway out there, but it's worth it. It's a nice area.
Fuck yeah.
Just kind of weird because, a lot of it is sloped.
Mm-hmm.
So, where the stage was, the one spot of, semi-flat, but it's still all sloped down. So even when you'd sit, on a bench or something, you'd feel like you were...
It's like the opposite of an amphitheater. Like it's
Yeah,
down.
it was,
downhill.
reversed.
Yeah.
They were up on the hill and everybody else was down.
Yeah, shit.
So, that was pretty cool.
Green Jelly, man. Don't they? I don't remember much about them. I know JoJo used to jam some of them back in the
The Three Little Pigs.
Three Little Pig. Yeah, yeah. That's the only one I really remember. But
Yeah, I actually learned about them from, old teacher back in high school, Miss Malin.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, that was one of her favorites besides, Guns N' Roses.
Fucking A.
So I was like, oh, let's see this. And she played us the Three Little Pigs music video for class, and I was like, that's dope.
Didn't they used to be Green Jello, and then they had to change their name?
Yeah, the copyright. They got it. I guess they got a cease and desist.
Mm.
So, everybody was yelling that out in the show, too. So it's like you'd hear some say Green Jello, and then it's like, oh, but it was advertised Green Jelly.
Yeah. Just, who knows, huh?
Yeah, the band still calls themselves Green Jello, but only in word. They don't post it on stuff.
Oh, okay.
So, they're technically Green Jelly, but, at the show, they're all, Green Jello sucks. Green Jello sucks. And they got the crowd all into it.
Nice.
So that was pretty awesome.
Sick.
Yeah. All the dust, though. I was not a fan of the dust.
Where's Nichols Ranch at, from Alamo-ish?
I think from my house, it was 18 minutes, but you got to go... You know where that little three-way stop is in La Luz?
Yep.
You want to follow that little curve, almost all the way out there. All the way to the end.
East, up the mountain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a bit ways up there. It's, distance-wise, I think it's a little bit further than High Rolls.
Okay.
I think. So it's, like I said, an 18-minute drive, I think is what my phone said.
Right on.
And, of course, instead of, just following the road and trusting instincts, I was like, I don't remember where it is. Type it in Google, and it made me go through the little... a little dirt, it's like a creek type thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like a shitty dirt road that if it's raining, there'll be water in it.
It's flooded out, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, great, I got a car that doesn't really fit
Not
this.
necessarily an off-road vehicle.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I need to get a truck or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I finally got a truck. A used truck. I actually got it from Danny Lucero. The little S10 out
nice.
front.
Okay.
It's funny, I always wanted a beater skate truck.
And now you got one.
The one that always came to mind was it was Danny Lucero's old Nissan. He used to have an old Nissan truck with the rails in the back. You probably remember it was like a bluish grayish
Vaguely.
Nissan
You got to
truck.
remember, I wasn't at the skate park as soon as you.
Yeah, but yeah, shit.
I was always too chicken to come out. I was always like, those other dudes, they're too cool. I can't be out there.
Nah, you had your times though, man. Oh,
There's always Matt dragging me out there. He's like, come on, let's go skate.
Cheers, brother.
As long as I don't spill it.
No, but I always wanted a truck, and the beater skate truck that came to mind was his old Nissan. And then, years later, we started skating with him again. He started coming around and skating with us again.
Nice.
And we were skating on New York Street down from the old shop. There's this little curb down there by Showcase Carpets.
Oh, okay.
And we'd wax up the little curb
And just do this little...
Yeah, I don't know why we were just skating down there a lot, but it's just a sick little spot that we started.
Hell yeah.
But Danny rolled up and he has a for sale sign on that S10, and I was like, yo, how much you want for that truck? And he was like, I don't know, I'll talk to my dad or whatever. And it's just funny that the beater skate truck I ended up getting was from the same guy that I visualized his old truck. So it wasn't the same truck, but it was the same dude whose truck I was imagining.
Was it gray? Was it a gray truck?
It was like a gray, yeah, or blue, like a real bluish metallic grayish.
Because I'm trying to remember which truck you're talking about, because I did not pay attention on my way in.
Oh, no, the one out there is a little gray and black Chevy S10.
Okay.
Mostly gray.
Because I'm trying to remember. You know whose truck comes to mind was either, who had the white truck? It's like a bigger truck.
JoJo had a white smaller Chevy, but
was
it wasn't a big truck.
Well, I guess like regular size truck, not like a smaller one.
But with the rails in the back and the stickers.
I vaguely remember that in my memory. Like always, like
yeah,
they're at the park. Okay, cool.
Yeah, JoJo's truck was tight.
Or Aaron's fucking red truck.
Yeah,
that thing was badass.
Little Tacoma or something.
I can't remember what it was, but the thing was sick. I think he got it right after that car he had.
Mm.
The one that the horn would always just go off, or alarm or something would always go off while he was at the party. Just like,
yeah. Fucking Aaron, man. He always had this fucking sick ass system going.
That dude was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, and it was cool because he was one of the first ones that I really like felt comfortable talking to, because everybody else was just doing their thing, and I'm not like a outgoing person. I'm more like super introvert. Like,
stay to your own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting. Like you'd have him, you know, just like what's up, and then just do like a little chit chat, and then skate, and kind of like make it a little more like accepting to an introvert's mindset.
Yeah, he's man, he's really cool. He always was like really nice to me and shit too.
Yeah.
Because some people are rough around the edges and like, but like he was always like, no, dude, like, you know, that's tight that you're skating, and like he was encouraging, you know.
Yeah.
He'd never like tell you like.
Once you got to a place with him, then he would start the little banter of like just shit talking back and forth and being silly and kind of like bringing in new people.
And that's how you know like you're accepted, you know, in a way. Because
in a way, it felt like it, but at the same time, I always like. With my mind, I'm always thinking everybody hates me. So I'm like, okay, this person seems to like me, but that means everybody else still hates me. Instead of thinking, oh, I'm part of the group, it's like I think about it each individual section, and it's some fuckery. But
what I realized about skateboarding here or just anywhere really is it's just a dysfunctional family, and you're kind of just you get what you get, like. You know, like you might have some family you don't like, but they're still your family. So like the skate park, it was like, oh, I like this guy, or I don't know if this guy likes me or whatever, but like, I mean, I don't care, like we're all, and you just spend enough time together and you're like, well, I mean, I guess we're fucking stuck with each other. So, you know, we might as well just be cool, you know?
Yeah.
And
it's definitely like the mentality. Like I didn't realize people were so open to just like being themselves, like pre-skateboarding.
Yeah.
It was a little more fall in line for me.
Oh, okay.
But when you get to the park, and then one of the first times I was there, I can't remember who was all there, but I remember Corey. He was there that day. And skating the Charles, whatever, and I was trying to do something, and somebody came like the other way, and like we both kind of messed up, and then I was like, oh, my bad, sorry about that. And then Corey just goes by, don't tell him you're fucking sorry, it wasn't your fault. I was like, oh, okay, well, sorry.
Sorry for saying sorry.
Yeah, it was one of those. Like I have a vivid memory of that one for some reason, just like early days, like when I still was barely learning kickflips and shit.
Sick.
So.
I have a good funny Corey memory too. Like I was skating, I had been going to the park for a while, you know, like what I thought was a while. Like I wasn't new by any means, but like I had never seen Corey before. I guess I just never crossed paths with him, or I don't know. So I'm skating the curb one day, and then like this guy who was Corey, but I didn't know him at the time. He's like, why don't you just get the fuck out of the way? And I looked at him like, what the fuck? Like I didn't say anything, but I was just like, where did that come from? And who the fuck are you? And I kept skating and whatever.
He was so direct, just like, this is how it is, like unapologetically him, and it was.
He
great.
told me later, he was like, nah, Zeb and them put me up to it because it was the.
Oh really?
Those dudes were there too, but.
It just seemed like something he would just do that like in a more lighthearted way, not necessarily being a jerk, but.
I was like, damn, dude, like. It was funny though. It's really funny looking back.
I think once I actually started coming to the park more is when he stopped coming as much. Like I never saw him, like there as often. Maybe that was like job time frame, like everybody's working or some shit. I don't know.
There was an era there where a lot of the dudes that, from that group were like a little sparse, and then it was like us.
Yeah, because I remember first few like around that same time, like that early time of me being there, it was usually just Jeff.
Oh,
like,
man.
Jeff was just there all the time.
He's the staple, yeah.
Yeah. Him and John Paul, I think, were the two that I saw the most early on.
Yeah.
And then it was, you know, you could expect everybody else after 3 or 4 p.m.
Sure.
Everybody else would show up.
Yeah, we were the early birds. Yeah, John Paul and Jeff. It was funny. Jeff's Mexican. John Paul was like, I mean, he's half white, too, but he still looks, I mean, he's still the black kid, even though he's half white. But it's like, and then me, white. So it'd be like, Jeff and John Paul and me, and it was just like this mixed, man, we would always get in trouble, like no matter what, you know. It was just, but it was like this interracial ethnic, eclectic group, the
I
three
just-
of us.
Right? I just
Getting into
remembered,
bullshit on the streets.
I had a conversation at work the other day about like some reason boxing stuff came up, and I just instantly had flashbacks to when people would always bring a pair of boxing gloves to the park.
Oh, yeah.
And just duke it out. And I would always just love to sit there and watch and be like, this is great.
Oh, yeah. That was classic.
Yeah, some of the silly shit that happened at the park all the time. Like, that's the stuff I really miss, and that's why I really wish I was able to skate still.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, I'd pretty much kill to try and be able to skate again. Like, that was my athletic. That was my,
Yeah.
get out there and exercise type and socialize. Once that was kind of taken away, I didn't really get that same kind of feeling from anywhere.
Yep.
Even with band stuff, it was like it's not as free flowing, not hang out for hours on end just because you want to type. It was more
Technical and
Yeah.
rehearsal type shit. And
yeah, which I still love, but the fact that I just can't skate without risk of like serious injury to my spine sucks. So-
damn, what is it like? Something like what's going on with your back? Like, in a nutshell, what's
Well,
the
I
deal?
got reports probably in a thing like that thing. I mean, my spine's messed up from the top down. The last time I got hurt, the worst was what kind of blew out my lower back because I got way overweight.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to go and skate and try and get back into it. And just doing like little manuals on the little pad was jarring my back over and over, and then it locked up. So, long story short, I have like a reverse C-spine in my neck or some crap. I have a damaged disc and vertebrae in between my shoulder blades. Just below that, I have another injury from a fall from the quarter pipe.
Oh,
And then on the lower one, I have like 4 discs that are basically exploded.
jeez.
So, yeah, actually my left leg has actually started to atrophy because like the nerves are damaged. So I actually popped a nerve in my left calf. So like that's my pushing leg, and I can't make my foot do that motion.
Damn. Is there any like
I'm not going to bash any doctors right now. I'm not.
Is there any, what do they call it? I can't think of the term, but like physical therapy type stuff you can do, like for recovery or like
No,
re-strengthening.
because I've got
or-
arthritis all through my back, and like
Damn.
there was the way they were showing it was like you have like the bone, and it's like it looks like teeth because it's got so many chips out, so it's just constantly doing that on the like little cushion part.
Damn.
Yeah, so I can't risk it for
Right.
fear of losing my job or something like
Just
that.
making it even worse.
Yeah, so it's like I have to sit and dread and just not.
What about like any other type of fitness? Are you able to go to the gym or do anything like that? Or
It depends. With this job now, it's very physical, but I can take my time a little bit more. It's basically just cleaning up places. Sometimes repairs, but really it's just a lot easier. Now I can lift, like I can still lift like a fridge up into a truck and stuff. So that's not the big deal. It's the thing one of the doctors told me is do not jog and probably don't run because that's what's going to keep jarring your back and making it worse.
Right.
So that automatically excludes the skateboarding I want to do.
just these repetitive things that keep
Yeah,
going
like
over and
for
over.
me, I can't. Like I'm not a cruiser on a skateboard. Like I don't like to just cruise. I want to do a flippy trick here. I want to do a grind here.
Yeah.
Like I just want to do something with it. And so for me, it's like okay, well, flip tricks were my favorite thing,
Yep.
especially flip tricks into manuals. And now that stuff is kind of taken away. Like oh, you can ride the ramps, but you can't really do anything else.
Right.
So, I mean, I can still do certain things. And now that I've lost a lot of weight, definitely a lot easier.
Maybe do some bowl carving or something. Like go shred a
Yeah,
bowl.
like that's about all I can do. Like
pump,
I mean,
pump track.
I mean,
something like that.
What's messed up is that's still difficult because the nerves are starting to kind of atrophy in my thigh as well. So when I bend, I don't have the same strength to get back up, and that puts all the weight on my bad knee
Damn.
because I don't have any cartilage in this knee really. Like I have some left, but it's one of those where if I grind that, it is excruciating. So I just can't. So my skateboarding life is over.
Damn, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
you could come out here and like do like the referee on the game of skate battles
I
or
would
some shit.
totally ref that.
You could
That'd be
MC it. You could get on the mic and be like, "Yeah, Pat, there was a little toe on the ground there. You're gonna have to do that over."
great. Well, I'd have to get a little more sauced up for that. Oh, shout out a nickname there, Sauce.
Oh, man. I haven't seen him since like the first year that I was here in this place, which has actually been a while.
Didn't he? Isn't he in Colorado now or something?
The last I heard, I thought he was in Texas or something.
I have no idea, dude. Like,
Houston or some shit.
yeah, remember I haven't seen him since 2009
Yeah.
or so. So it's been a long time. That dude was. He would give me shit early on before we really knew each other, and then me and him got pretty tight. Like it was like, you're
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Awesome sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we were pretty tight too in like 10th grade. Like we were skate dogs. I've gone through different eras with different people.
Yeah.
You know, where like you have someone you're skating with every day for like a good chunk of time.
I just remember going to the alt school with him, and his house was like right across the street. So it was like lunch break, let's go.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, man.
That was chill. Yeah, I miss that, dude. Like I miss that whole environment and all the people. Like I really do. I miss that whole skate community. But I've been kind of. I can't do it, and it just depresses me to think about it. So I try not to, but
Yeah.
I try to keep it up and up. Now I'd still try to visit. Oh man, oh fuck, I haven't seen Daniel in forever. I gotta go bug his ass.
Ross?
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's the one dude I would be there every day with.
Yep.
Like that was skate park with Ross.
Man, he was living there for a while too, man. Every day.
Yeah, because he had
Sun
graduated
up to
early
sundown.
doing that goddamn.
Youth challenge?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that like military academy thing.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Well, I've already got my shit. I'm good." And then me, like, I got switched from the high school to like a online school thing, and I was like, I ain't doing that work. I'm gonna go to skate park. So it was always me and him there.
Yeah.
Then
He
I know.
still fucking kills it, man. When he,
Does he? I'm
dude,
glad.
when he gets on a board, man, he's fucking. He's just got style, bro, and tricks. Like he's
Oh, of
just a
course.
unique bag of tricks, and he just gets down.
Why do you think I never asked him to play skate? Because
Like-
he could do all the cool shit.
He's got one of the sickest fucking styles, like in Alamo for sure.
God, I haven't seen him skate in so long. I haven't actually seen him skate because I've seen he kind of has like a body transformation now. He was last I remember talking to him, he was like eating super healthy. He's extra slim. I think he even had like long hair and like a beard going on or some shit.
Yeah, oh, he's got some long ass hair. He's always got it stuffed up in his beanie, but when he breaks it down, dude, it's like, what is that guy, Fabio or whatever?
Nice.
He's got some sick ass hair, dude. Sick, man.
Yeah, just like he's definitely somebody I definitely felt like grew up with, even though he wasn't. You know, we didn't know each other until end of like middle school. Was it middle school? Yeah, I think I met him in middle school. We didn't start really becoming friends until I think high school, like close friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, that dude was so awesome.
Yeah, he still comes around. Like usually I'll throw a session or something and Jared will hit him up or I'll hit him up and he'll come over.
Nice.
We skated a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I haven't. I'm trying to remember. I think it's been like 2 years. It was pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've basically sheltered myself for like a good 5 years, like just
Just the last couple, yeah.
for my mental health. I mean, when you have something like skateboarding to where you're like you cannot do it anymore for risk of injury, it sucks. And it's like, okay, well,
Now what? Just
I'm
pouring
just
pouring yourself into the music stuff then maybe.
pouring
yeah.
myself more drinks is what I was doing.
Yeah.
And then of course with the job at the time, when you have people constantly giving you death threats and bullshit,
Yeah, so what were
Like,
you doing? Like
code it sucked. It was code enforcement, and it's like, as good as it could have been, it was still miserable.
damn.
So
So you're the guy that has to drive around and tell people like, yeah, your weeds are too tall or like you got to get all this shit out of
Yeah.
your yard, right?
what should have been something that's simple but made very counterintuitive, because there wasn't a lot of backing from anybody. I mean, you had your coworkers, like immediate coworkers.
Is it through the city?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's one, and I'm still with them, like not code but city still, and I'm loving it to death.
So you switched departments?
Yeah, went over to the public housing and doing that stuff, which is, I mean, I love everybody there so far.
Sick.
I mean, it's nice. It's weird because there's random times where you hear, like, have shootings come up, or, like, had one dude come, like, while I was working, come in the door, he's like, oh, this dude's chasing me with a bat. And I'm like, okay, well, this is not what I'm paid to deal with.
Yeah, so what kind of work is it? Like, what do you do?
I just clean. Like, I clean the empty vacancies and stuff. So when people move out, I go in and clean it up and do all that, and then, like, I'll clean the office. Basically a big-time janitor.
Oh, cool.
So real simple.
You don't have someone, like, breathing down your back and shit. You know, get a lot of free time where you can just work and not deal with, like...
No, like, my bosses are really chill, especially because me, like, I love to have work lined up and just hit it throughout the day and get it all done.
Yeah.
Because then the day flies by, I feel good, I get exercise, and then, you know, and then my bosses don't pick at me for it. Like, they just let me do whatever.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like, they're real chill about it. They're like, no, you're getting shit done. Good.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just taking care of it,
Yeah.
and they don't have to micromanage you.
They'd probably encourage me to take more breaks.
Good.
In fact, there was a point where he was asking, he's like, "Are you taking your lunch?" I was like, "Yeah, I am."
Nice.
It's just it doesn't happen because I'm usually off by myself, while like the maintenance dudes are doing a different house and like bosses are doing their shit. So.
Sick. Everyone's got their thing.
Yeah, so it's one of those. It's like, I mean, I'm usually by myself, but my stuff gets done so fast. Like great compliment to me. Let me toot my own horn here.
Yeah,
exactly. Like my boss is just like, "Damn, that was fast." Like you hear that from a boss, it wants you to keep going. But
yeah. It's like when I used to work at the Subway on 10th Street, like as a teenager.
You get here for a sub from there.
Yeah, and one night it was my first night closing. It was my first night closing, like by myself or whatever. And then like I was just like, damn, I hope I did a good job or whatever, And then like later on, like the next day or whatever, I was like, yeah, I hope I did all right. She's like, oh yeah, that was the best close I've ever had. And I was just like, really? Like you're not fucking with me? And she's like, no, seriously. And I was just like, all right, I'm good after that. Because I'm like, damn, like, I didn't even do everything. I just did most of it.
Yeah, it's... I don't like that now, because it seems like this is happening more, where less is not necessarily expected. They want their work done, but they already know that a worker isn't going to complete all of it.
Right.
So it's like, when they get somebody that does complete it, they're like, we're going to keep you in that position forever.
Yeah.
Congratulations, no promotion ever.
Yeah. And then they know what the baseline work is for you. So if you ever come up subpar of that, they're like, yo, what's wrong with you today?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, because I didn't do 110. I only did 105. Like, you're going to get mad at me,
That can happen.
It can happen.
It sucks. But usually, like, especially with, like, city jobs, very political. As long as when somebody bitches or complains, as long as you have your butt covered and you did your job right, or at least did your job.
Yeah.
It's off of you. You just gotta fuck it. It's not my problem. I did what I was supposed to. I did what I was told.
What more do you
want?
want?
It's out of my hands. Yeah, and that's where it can kind of come to shambles in some places, because you have 4 or 5 people dealing with one situation and different. Like with mine, it's like you have the boss who would hear it from his boss, that heard it from city manager.
And shit rolls downhill.
Yeah, and like that's one thing I appreciate about my bosses is they don't usually let those emotions come through to shove it off on everybody else. Like
that's how it should be, man.
Yeah.
Work should not be emotionally charged, and that's when it gets shitty.
One thing that I learned a lot of great shit from Quiggs when I was at code enforcement. He was like one of the greatest mentors I've ever had. Like you don't get, how do I put it? Like you don't get the promotion to like, I had the words and they slipped away. You get promoted, you're a supervisor or a boss, like foreman, manager. Like you should be more than ample to do the work immediately, just yourself. Just go do it. Get it done. This is extra. I shouldn't have to ask the guys. If I'm too busy, then ask. Yeah, that's fine. But so many times somebody gets a promotion and they just like, oh, now I'm the boss. Let me just...
Let me put my feet on the dash.
Yeah, I'm in charge now. Like, and I can't stand that mentality. And that's just like, not only to try to be that person, but like Quigley definitely showed me, like, you have to like want to be that. You got to drive for it, and you've got to just do it. Not because you're going to get paid more, not because, for me, I want to go do extra, but it's not because I want to get paid more. Mm-hmm. It's because I want to help out. I want to get things done. I want it done right. And he really just kind of drilled home that old school mentality. So
that's the right way to invite better things into your life anyway, is being putting in the work and doing the right thing regardless of without expecting anything in return.
Exactly.
It's like a friendship. You're like, I want to just be the best friend I can be and not expect anything in return.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or whatever.
See, and I get stale brained. Like
and
I
generally
you'll freaking on that.
You'll reciprocate better results if you just think that way, and you're like,
and trying to actively be more like, it's weird to tell yourself every day, like, hey, I am going to be positive, I am going to do that, and it's a tough thing. Like I had a hard time because my depression gets crazy as hell. Mm-hmm. So it was nice to have someone like Quigley kind of, that happens.
Reel you in.
And he gave me the old Yoda treatment. You either do or you don't.
Yeah.
Like, you can either get better or you can stay where you're at and just fizzle out.
Yeah.
And that's what I loved, was the whole...
You can't control what happens to you necessarily, but you can control your response to it.
He wouldn't tell me how to do things. He would tell me why he sees things the way he does. Like, this needs done. Because I would ask him constantly, well, why are you doing the boss's job? Why are you always doing everything for him?
Yeah.
And he's like, it needs done. And I'm not going to sit around and let this stuff not get done. It's not my job to do it, but I'm going to make sure it's done. And then he just had that real leadership aspect.
Good.
And I really appreciated that. And it's like something that I kind of held on to. So hopefully taking it and using it in my life forward. Like I won't ever forget it. So
Great.
it's just, I went into that totally crippled state. Like I felt just, so if you have depression, call this number.
Yeah. No, I agree with that though. Like, I used to work at a restaurant too, and like I worked there for a long time. So, like somebody would be like, "Pat, what do you want to close or whatever?" And I'm like, I don't care. Like I'll close whatever you don't want to close. Like, I got to the point where I've worked every aspect of the job so many times that I was like unbiased. I'm like, I don't have a favorite.
Yeah.
Like I'll just do the one that like is left. Well, you guys pick, and I'll just have whatever's left, and I'll just do all of it. And I'm like, I'm here to work from this time to this time. And I'll just do everything. If I have to do everything, I'll fucking do everything. But when I leave, I ain't thinking about that shit no more.
See, and that's that's the thing that he had to teach me.
Yeah.
Is because I would take things home and hold them personal and not let go and not understand why I was going through that. Something simple. It's not even your fault. I'd feel like it was my fault, and I'd be upset. And that's where he kind of was like, if you want to try and get rid of that, then you got to start with thinking here, and that's just get it done so it's done. You automatically feel better.
That's it.
Yeah. So it's
and you know
okay.
you brought your best to the table, so.
And it's not like I was ever like a slacker. I mean, I guess a little bit. I'm a little lazy, but I was like
everyone can be.
I had a friend tell me one time, what was it?
Classic underachiever?
No. You are the hardest working lazy person I've ever seen.
There you go.
I think is what it was. Or you're the laziest hardworking person. I can't remember which way they said it.
Yeah.
It felt like a compliment and a slight diss, but that's because like I'm very nonchalant usually. Like I'm getting boozed up now, but
yeah.
Usually I'm a very like just whatever. I'm not. You know. I'm the timid one. I'm the shy one usually. So
Yeah.
I used to be class clown when I was little, but something just kind of changed.
Shifted.
Eventually.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's funny. Like my friend Joey D and I used to work at the restaurant together, and like one time he was like, he told our boss, he's like, "How the fuck are we the best employees that you have?" like skater trash, like just like drank all night and showed up like barely on time, all half hungover, and like
still got it.
We're holding it down, doing a better job than everybody else. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? How's that even possible?
See, and when I was younger, I had that expectation that I'd go and work my ass off, do a great job, and then I would be rewarded from bosses. Like I had that expectation, which I shouldn't have.
Right, you're expecting.
I'm already getting money to do this job.
You're setting yourself up with an outcome.
I set myself up for failure because of watching my dad work his ass off and still not necessarily get rewarded the way he should have. But he didn't like take offense to it. He just did it. He plowed through it and everything. And it's like, I saw that and I tried to apply it. But then it's like, for some reason, I got this like spoilt kid in me that was just like, well, I've been doing all this for a while now and you haven't given me a raise, or, you know, there was a couple times like that.
Yeah.
It's like I had to have reality checks. The one thing I lacked was like a social experience with people. That
sometimes it takes a while.
I'm just not super social. Like a little kid growing up, the only friends I had, they would move away after a year.
Right.
Because it was like the military thing here where it's like, oh, they're here for a little bit and then they move
gone.
away. And then, so it was always like that. So those were always the ones that moved into my block that I could go out and hang out with, and then they'd move after a year. So, yeah. I mean, it wasn't until, Daniel and my buddy Eddie. Like, it wasn't until them that I had, like...
close friends that stuck around.
On. Like, them and Matt. Like, I met Matt, all three I met... I'm trying to think. I met Matt first. And he was one, but he... I'm trying to remember this exactly, because it should have been I met Matt first. We would hang out all the fucking time, and then I changed to middle school, I think, right away. Like, you know what I mean? Like, elementary into...
Were you guys same grade? We were all the same grade.
Yeah, same grade. I'm just trying to remember how that all went down. I just remember us getting into skateboarding because we both said, hey, I'm bored. Yeah, I'm bored too. What do you want to do? My sister's got a skateboard in the closet. I'll go get it.
Just pushing around.
Yeah, and then we just started from there.
Yeah.
You know, and he was like, oh, I got one too. That's just that's kind of how we started. We were just bored, and then like that kind of
went
from there. And then Daniel, I know I definitely met him in middle school. And he
Yep.
was just such a goofy motherfucker sometimes.
Yeah, he's a good
You know
guy.
that Daniel Ross cheeser he'd put on? When
Oh,
he'd be
yeah.
like, Daniel, what the fuck? And he'd be all, just all like super cheeser because he knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met Daniel, and then shortly after I met Eddie. And
Yeah.
then, that was like the only consistent people I had, like, like outside of family.
Sure.
Like, I unfortunately have like the reverse of most people where they have an unstable family life, but then they have friends and stuff, a good social life. Mine was the opposite. I could not get a good social life going
Right.
for the life of me. Plus, I'm not a
Yeah.
social butterfly.
Nah, it's shit. It's all good, man. Shit. It is what it is.
Yeah, so it's...
We all came together at some point.
I think that's where I started developing that, like, almost like my own psychosis of, like, self-doubt. Immediate. Now.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I just met this person and they were really cool. They fucking hate me. I know they do that, fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Like,
I've mentioned this before, but like it's like there's how you think of yourself, how others think of you, how you think others think of you, how others think that you think of yourself, how others think that you think of them, and I mean it just branches out like a tree.
I'd be having a panic attack right now if
And
it wasn't for some of the podcast.
At some point you just like you can't control, you know.
That is one thing
And
that I've noticed about myself is I have that. What's a good way to put? Like, you know the whole James Hetfield story about like holding on too tight, like with the whole the monster movie that they had. Like,
Yeah.
Jason Newsted
right.
bailed out because he was holding on too tight. He's like, no, don't leave me.
Yeah.
I realized like that's literally how I treat almost every situation, and I had to like back off from it. It was I didn't realize my own toxicity.
And no one's harder on you but you know. You know, I mean, at least that's how I feel for me. I'm like, Pat, like...
I know I am, but I assume that somebody else will come up with something better to hate on me for, or like to you know what I mean? Like, I hate on myself more than anyone,
Right?
but I assume somebody else is doing it better than me, and that makes me mad.
It's just those things that you can't change. Like, for instance, someone
Yeah.
else's feelings about you. I mean, you want to be liked and revered and whatever, but it's like dying, right? You can't control the fact that you're going to die, yet we're afraid of it, but we got to learn to not be afraid of it, because why fear the inevitable? So somebody out there is going to be like, fuck that guy. I don't like him
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
And
you know what? You know what, man? Like, I don't know what to fucking tell you, but you're wasting your time.
Right,
You know?
right. And unless, like, in words, just being told to you, it's one thing. But it wasn't until someone like Quigley could actually point out why.
Point out the
and
why.
explain out everything. Just here, like, you're just going to feel that way. It sucks. Get over it.
Get
Like,
over it, yeah.
And then, like, to really, like, show me with examples of his own life and then compare it to mine, like, he was such a great teacher for that.
Cool, man.
And it was one of those that helped me kind of, okay, refresh, let's start again. Let's and it's okay to rewind if you need, like, and that's one thing I felt uncomfortable with, because it was always like, oh, if you go backwards, that's bad.
You're
You need to
losing.
yeah.
Yeah.
You need to keep going forwards, but I'd always be like stuck right there and worrying about future and past. No,
It's good to go back sometimes.
it is. You got to remember the past, live in the present, and then, you know, build for the future.
Right.
And it's one of those that I can't even explain it well at all. But the way that he kind of taught me was with lesson through lesson, you know, some wax on, wax off shit.
No, yeah, it sounds great.
Once that happened, that's when I started that rebuild. That's when I started sheltering in, and I talked to nobody for like 5 years.
I know what you mean. Like, man, I used to be all over the place, hitting friends up, phone going off all the time, and then, you know, now my phone hardly ever goes off, and it's not other people. I mean, part of it's that we're growing up and everyone's got their own more of their own stuff. It's not like, yo, what the homie's doing.
See,
like,
and I was already used to people going away.
mm-hmm.
But when that new flourishment of people doesn't come in, like, it's weird, and then you're just sitting there depressed all alone, and it's like, okay, well, you know, I guess I'm meant to be this way.
That's it.
But it's
And I've gone through quite a quiet phase for some time now. Some people might not imagine that. Like, it seems maybe from the outside that I'm still hanging out with people and doing a lot, but I've spent a lot of time alone and just kind of going over my own things and
Yeah.
just working on stuff but I do pretty well by myself, you know, like a lot, like just doing music stuff or making art or like, I don't know, doing shit around the house.
See,
or
that's
time just flies by for me, and I'm like,
trying to
how the fuck have I been spending the last 2 days alone and not even noticed it?
see,
you know?
but that feels okay to me if you can feel like you're enjoying everything you're doing and going on. My problem is in the George Thorogood kind of way. I drink alone.
Right.
So I go home.
I drink alone.
Well, it sounded very fucking. I stand alone. Some Godsmack.
Yeah, that's what came to my mind just now.
I drink alone.
Yeah, that ain't good if you're getting wasted a lot, all alone. That ain't good. But I mean, it's not good if you're getting wasted all the time with a bunch of people either. It's just getting wasted all the
I
time.
got my gallbladder out because of it.
Yeah. God
Yeah.
damn. Isn't the gallbladder some weird ass shit? Like we don't. It's like, what's the purpose of the gallbladder?
It helps with digestion on harder foods.
Okay. I'm sure you learned quite a bit about it.
I am not a doctor and or scientist. Basically, it's a storage sack for your liver to pump stuff into, like enzymes and all that, to break down food.
Okay.
It'll hold it for you, and when you eat, it will immediately dump that, allowing your liver to slowly produce, helping your liver.
Good.
So now that mine's out, it's just liver dumping.
Okay.
So when it tries to store, so you got to be careful of timing of eating, what you're eating, the amount you're eating, and it sucks.
Yes, I imagine. Damn.
I go the lesser route. I just say fuck it, and I just say I got poop. Nah. Now I said now. Open the door.
I'm gonna go right now.
Yeah, basically. It can be anywhere from, oh, I haven't gone in a while, but everything's moving smooth, to like you just ate something, to bam. Like
Gotta go now.
yeah, it's going now. So it does suck, but it's not the end of the world. You know, I definitely try to keep that positive lid on it. If no matter how negative I want to be, I try to top it off with that little
cherry on top.
Yeah, because there was even a point where I was like, oh, well, you ain't dead yet. Oh, shit, I ain't dead yet. So I'd have to top it off with something else, like, well, at least your cup ain't empty. Or just little things. Whatever would make the end of it a happy ending. You know?
Right.
So just to get my mind prepared, and it really forcing myself to do that actually helped a lot with the depression. It kind of cut it in half. It's still there, and it randomly pops up.
It takes work, man. Like your thought process is like,
Yeah.
it takes repetition and practice, like building a muscle or learning a skill, like learning how to think correctly and to filter shitty negative thoughts and be like, wait, like a Happy Gilmore. He's like, here comes the putter throw. Wait. It's like he's about to throw the putter, and then he like stops himself, and you're like, that's how I imagine like my thoughts. I'm like, that's a shitty thought.
Right. That's a good way of putting
Are you gonna let that one come through? No. Like, and sometimes it's good. Sometimes you're like, no, I'll let that one through. I need that one. Like that one's making me mad, and I need to be mad right now because sometimes being mad's productive.
That's also been told to me that I need to let out my emotions because I apparently really like to absorb everything and just push it way deep down until I have like an episode of super depression.
Yeah, or you just explode, you know.
Yeah. I don't know why I have the mental block that I'll be pissed off and I might say some bad shit, but I usually don't ever go over the end.
Right.
Like I don't ever
Get to that point.
I think it's just drilled in my brain that violence isn't the answer type thing, so I never thought that way. I could see how some people do, and especially with my emotions go crazy as shit, and I have a high temper. I get angry easy.
Yeah.
I have to express those in the proper way, and it's definitely difficult to do because I don't know how to express myself when I'm not a social butterfly. So if somebody says something that's just absolutely asinine and ridiculous, I could feel the blood pressure go up, and I have to tell myself, here it comes, just shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Just don't
Keep it cool.
don't blow up, but don't let it sink in. Just let it go and just tell yourself, this is a funny haha moment. Find a way to find funny out of it.
Flip it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the only way I can handle some of this stuff. I mean, when somebody tells you, there's this part, and there's only that universal part for this thing, and they say, oh, well, maybe it's too small. We need to, or, it's too big and we need the smaller part. and they're telling me about the work I did, and I'm like,
Bruh.
I have to like take it in, but not swallow it down. I gotta just. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Maybe you could try it. Figure it out.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't hurt to try, right?
Yeah.
Even though you already know, like, that shit
Yeah.
ain't gonna work.
Like I have to bring that back, that smart ass kind of like, but in a subtle way. Not
You can
to be-
find out that
but-
you're wrong on your own.
But
you know.
it's one of those that I had to learn to not eat my emotions on situations. I have to and not let them out, because I have let them out in very rude fucking ways before.
It's hard balance, man.
Like I've told people things that I didn't mean whatsoever. I was just emotionally screwed up at the time. And like I said, with my I won't even own a gun. Just because my severe depression pops up, and it's like once I get that under control, yeah, maybe if I feel the need.
Mm-hmm.
But I just it's an American right that I don't get to enjoy
Exploit.
like others. Like I'll go with somebody to a range or something. Yeah, shoot, that's fine. But I refuse to let myself own one, not because I would think I would hurt others, but I would if I got in that bad state of mind, and if that just so happened to be while I was intoxicated or something, yeah, it makes it too easy.
Yeah, just better not to have it there.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, for my mental health, that's what I've been doing for the last couple of years, is trying to like jigsaw puzzle my brain or Rubik's cube my brain and get it to where,
You can match it up.
yeah, because there was a good point where I was a very high functioning member of society, and I was downing this size of vodka every night.
Wow.
So I was going broke, and I was killing myself.
Man, that's one hell of a. I don't even know how much vodka that is, but I'll tell you one thing.
It's
if
too much.
If
Too
I,
much.
If I had the amount you've already had, just 3 or 4 shots, I would be all fucking bait.
Yeah.
Like the old Bugs Bunny when he gets sick.
Yep. That's why
But I'm weak. I have no tolerance for alcohol,
That's
hardly at all.
also why I stick with the shot glass.
Yep.
Because I can say if I lost count, then I gotta wait at least an hour before I can have another.
I can nurse some beers over the several hours and I'll be fine. But like if I start doing some shots and stuff, like I'll be like, they'll hit me like a train.
I thought I could have. Getting gallbladder out makes it so much harder to digest beer.
Yeah, I know. Back when we used to hang out a couple years.
Oh yeah, I'd be down in beers and then I'd get all.
We'd go get a fucking 12-pack of like Oktoberfest.
Bro, we'd get 2.
We'd
Get 2.
slamming them.
I'd get
things.
mine, you'd get yours. I'd run out and go to yours.
Damn. Yeah, we were putting them down those couple of times we were doing some jamming and
Probably
stuff.
not the healthiest thing. Not in the right state of mind. Nowadays,
It's a shitload of calories too, like 8 or 10 Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
You could see why. I don't know if you remember me in that time. Yeah, you would have. You would have seen me when I was at one of my biggest.
Yeah.
And that was because I was downing a bottle of this every night. Like all those extra calories on top of unhealthy foods.
God damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I said, between probably genetics and the amount of vodka I had is why that gallbladder made so many stones and they took it out.
Oof. Yeah.
You want to know the best joke ever?
Sure.
Was the doctor that took it out. When I was starting to come to, he came in and, Mr. Kohls.
No way.
We successfully removed your testicles. What?
Oh my god.
He's just, oh, I'm kidding.
Oh my god. It's a fucking nightmare, dude. Oh my god.
He did it so straight faced. Like he's probably done it before.
Oh, yeah.
Great doctor though. I was healed like in a week, easy.
Nice.
They did 3 incisions to remove it.
Fucking
Sore as
done.
hell because they cut up in your core.
Yeah.
I didn't think about how painful that would be just to breathe and like sit up. I couldn't sit up. I had to like roll off of my bed, get my feet on the ground, and then kind of like stand up. It was.
Yeah. I mean, god damn. Yeah.
See, and that's another thing. I was coming off of the opioid addiction back from getting that pizza oven dropped on my wrist. That was back when I was in Burning Sunday.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So I had that whole like drug situation of just like getting to that opioid. I need it. You know, and I was always very calm and patient with it. Like I would have it at a scheduled time. It's not like I was taking like way more than I needed, but it was like it became so routine.
So your wrist got fucked up at work or something?
Yeah.
And then
they were gonna transfer pizza ovens to another. This was out on base. They were to another restaurant or something. They were older pizza ovens, And of course, me being the good worker I am, yeah, I'll help. Hey, let me make sure you guys got this. And of course, we had one on the floor already. We were putting the other one on top of it. And they were like, okay, are we ready? And then literally just everybody let go. Like in that moment, everybody let go and it just... So I have like a weird little bone chip. But they said, oh, if we do surgery, it'll do more damage than good. And I'm like, whatever. I mean, even when I went to the doctor in Cruces, she was basically calling me a liar, saying it was a skating injury.
God
so
damn.
I never even got that fully taken care of. But yeah, I dropped it on there, and I had to do the cast BS and
then you were taking some drugs for it, some
Yep.
painkillers, and that's what
constantly.
that's the opioid thing you're talking about.
Constantly, yeah.
What were they like? Fucking
Just regs. Like I can't remember what they started out as. I know they went to like just the hydrocodones for a while. Like but they were the strongest ones of it. So they were like, oh, well, we're going to give you the weaker stuff, but that's the highest weak stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of giving me just something simple. Like,
right.
There was a point where I bashed my toe into a wall, and I told him, like, I had a exposed bone and all this, and the doctor there was, oh, I can't read x-rays. So he just put it in a soapy tub, and he said, and I specifically told him, I was like, can I have something for pain? Because this hurts.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't need something strong, just ibuprofen type stuff. Don't give me a Lortab or anything like that range. What's he come back with? A goddamn Lortab. So it's like, oh, let's keep the addiction going.
Yeah.
So that was pre-wrist injury, but it was still around at that time with...
Yeah, man. Damn.
So many... And it's not... There were some doctors that seemed to push that stuff, and there were some doctors that were like, are you actually getting better? Because we shouldn't keep pumping this into you. So it's like, shout out to the good doctors that don't push that bullshit and actually want you better. But yeah, there was definitely points where it's like, I have a super high pain tolerance. So that when I get hurt, it's like severe. But when I was going through that, it was always like, oh, ow, this really hurts. Like, give me more.
Yeah.
But the toe thing, I had exposed bone. I could have got gangrene. Doctor didn't say shit. He
What
just sent
the
me on.
fuck?
When I went to the specialist, though, he called the hospital and bitched him out for it. And I was like,
Yeah, let him
you
have
take it. Yeah, that was at the Bone and Joint Institute. They seem to take care of their people. So, shout out to them on that.
Yeah,
you know?
man.
And I mean, it was a simple fix. They were supposed to put me on antibiotic right away just to stop that from starting, make sure it's wrapped up and taken care of.
Right.
Simple injuries, you know. And then it's like even with the wrist. Nothing. I went through full physical therapy on getting it back to normal. Couldn't. I felt like they were being honest, but then when I went to the doctors and Cruces, they started being all, like I could hear them in the hallways being, oh no, he's probably just got a skating injury. He was a skateboarder.
And you're like, dude,
like, wait a minute.
I'm not making this shit up, dude. You know, like,
Yeah. Well, and it's one of those because it was on, what do you call it? Like not workman's comp, but like when you get hurt, you have to go through that. Is that the workman's comp?
I think so, or
Yeah,
something like that.
I can't remember what it was called through AFES, but I went through it, and it was initial, like it was hard to find somebody that would take those cases for one, as far as doctors. But then when you went to when you started going to specialists, they started to not give a crap. So it's like, oh, we'll just do it. So once I put on the cast, I was like, this is not gonna fix it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it sits and heals, it's not gonna fix it. So I'm just gonna accept this and say I'm done because I'm tired of the BS and the travel and.
Yeah.
So once they cut that bad boy off, I was just basically like, fuck you, I'm
Have
out.
to get your mobility back and
Yeah.
just do it on your own.
I'll just worry about myself. So every once in a, like, I still have it once in a while, and it causes like severe pain in like any thumb muscles because it's like right under that bone right there is where it's wedged in. So every once in a while it finds its way into a bad spot. But yeah, it's
Pretty good for the most part.
yeah. I mean, I've had enough injuries in my life. So
Yeah, shit.
one more, whatever. I mean, you could probably see like the scars on my knuckles and shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's
From
all.
that fucking.
That's all dog bites.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think I was like 7 or 8, and I almost lost my hand to a dog bite.
Dog bites will fuck you up.
Well, the doc thinks that the only reason the dog bit through and let go is because he immediately recognized my smell. It was actually a friend's dog. I went to go see if he was home. He wasn't, so I walked back down around the alley, and I went to go reach in and say, bye, puppy. You know, little kid, just like
man.
bye. And he just...
Man.
I still love dogs, though.
Yeah, dogs are the shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Fucking A, man.
And then I had it a second time where I was working with... I can't remember the company, but basically they hired me to go work for P&M just doing meter reading shit. And then I went to one out somewhere in the Dungan area. And I went up. I had the little device in my hand to punch in the number. So I'm like, oh, okay, got it. It's ready. Da, da, da. And I'm walking up, and then I see the dog come up, and it starts like biting at me, just all vicious, trying to protect its pack because there was a bunch of other dogs. I was like, okay, shit. But it kept like coming at me. So I took a swing, and it managed to latch onto my knuckle and take a chunk out. And that's when I was like, oh yeah, dumbass, you have steel toe boots.
Yeah.
So I kicked it in the chops, and it backed away. And I was like, okay, I don't want to hurt a dog anymore. This is not good.
Out in Dunnigan?
Yeah, it wasn't that specific area, but it was out in that same area.
There's some fucking crazy dogs out there.
And I'm not mad about I'm not even mad that the dog did it.
Nah.
It's just one of those that I I pulled up in my truck on their property out in one of those big space areas. Got out of the truck like looking at my stuff and handling it, not paying attention to my outside world. If I would have paid attention, I would have seen the dogs walk up, got back in, and just left. Period.
Right.
But it was one of those that my lack of paying attention got me in trouble a bit. So I would definitely claim fault on that.
Sure.
Especially because there was a bunch of little dogs and a couple other dogs. So that dog was defending its property. You know.
Was that when you were doing code shit?
No. That was well before. That was with the P&M, the electric company.
Oh, okay.
Doing meter readings.
That's right. You said that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, when I switched to code, it was always going to leave a notice on the door and turning around, and their dog hopped the fence and is just staring at you like, hey, bud, what's up? What you doing? I'm like, sup? But that happened on more than one occasion. In town, not so bad. Walker Town, if a dog's on you, you're going to get eaten. I've seen some of those. Like, yeah, I didn't have fun doing a lot of that.
Man.
I thought, I think clean it, trying to get people to clean up, do this, so much political bullshit behind it. No, thank you. No, thank you.
I bet it's probably rough, man.
It's
rough.
miserable. I mean, I went from having, just a moderate life to having people telling me death threats to my face or trying to find ways to contact me. That's why I ended up getting off of social media. I had people following me home from work. And
God damn.
There are some psychos out there. And
I mean, bro, it's just my job, man. That's nothing personal.
Yeah, I've had it to where I went, and I mean, some of the other guys had the same kind of stuff happen.
And it's your fault, not mine, by the way. Like, if you had your shit together, I wouldn't have to write you a notice.
Right, and it's one of those that people immediately say, oh, you're giving me a ticket. It's like, no, it's a 2-day notice. They won't let us do tickets anymore.
And you can always get an extension and all this, just put in the effort, bro. Just, do some of your weeds, and then,
Yeah, and I can even say that some of the rules are a little weird, but I understand them. But when you're trying to explain them to somebody who's just pissed off, it doesn't work.
No, they just see red.
So that's why it's like I'm kind of glad to be out of there just for that reason, because I don't need to take that home to anybody else. And then it started diving into personal life, and just that's when I became completely antisocial.
Sure.
Like, completely, because it was just too constant. It's like everybody, oh, that's that fucker, okay. To where you start driving by and you're inspecting houses and people are peeking out the window. Like, I've had people answer their doors with guns. It's like, oh, cool. All I have is a vest, so don't shoot me in the face. I don't have pepper spray. I don't get a taser. I don't have nothing.
Yeah.
So don't shoot me in the face. Just shoot me right here. Preferably a low caliber bullet.
Oh no.
Yeah, so that's kind of what didn't help me, and it was great that I had Quigley there with me to pull me out of and say, you need to go somewhere else. And he basically stuck around until I was okay. Once I got the new job, he's like, I'm retiring.
Nice. Yeah.
So,
he was there for you.
Yeah, he definitely was. Every step of the way. Very supportive. And he was with everybody, but he would also tell you that you're full of shit if you ain't taking care of shit. So...
Yeah, he was like the truth.
Yeah, definitely.
Y'all, sup, truth?
Yeah.
I need some truth today, man.
Like, he was
I don't
amazing.
want it, but I fucking need it.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Enlighten me.
Right?
Ugh.
Yeah, man. Like, I wanted to like that job because this was just before the severe lower back injury that I sustained. Because I was like, well, I'll get into this. The medical company I was with was basically closing up shop. So I just applied to places. That's one that took me. Fine, I'll go do code enforcement. And then I thought, oh, man, that'd actually be kind of cool. Let me go be a police officer. and maybe do some good for the community. You
Yeah.
know, put my best foot forward. Well, the first 2 years were really just learning the code stuff and actually getting focused on that. And then that's when I'm like, cool, I'll get in shape. I'm going to start skating again. Then I can start getting ready for like any police training that's going to come. Well, that's when I hurt my spine. And I put all of it to an end, and the depression rolled over severe. So, I mean, there was a point where I wasn't talking to anybody whatsoever. Like, I wasn't reaching out. There was even a point where I just completely got off of social media. Like, I think I had a post or something that was like, "Oh, Eddie's in control."
I remember that.
I gave.
Now that you mention it,
I said, if anybody tries to message you, you could tell them just try and text me or something. But I'm off. I'm out. I need time, and it was like a good 5-ish years that I've been in that mode.
Yeah.
Of just go to work, go home. Go to work, go home.
Yeah.
I mean, and it killed my social life. I hated it, especially with wanting to do music and trying to be social, where it kills it. To where not only do people hate you, but then everybody who knows where you work, they're just like, hey, what's the rules on this? And I'm like, dude, I don't want to talk about work anymore. I left work. Like, I clocked out.
Yeah. We can talk tomorrow.
Like, no fault on them. I understand. But it's definitely one thing that it was the best thing for my mental health to escape. And then now where I'm at, my mental health is finally healing. Like, I'm not, like, this is a nice occasion to actually have some good booze and enjoy the evening.
Yeah, man.
Before, it was like just downing stuff to down stuff, going in half-assed, hungover, killing myself. And now it's like, oh, well, now I can have an occasion. As you can see, old me would have already drank 3 more of these. This one I poured, and it's still sitting there. So, proud of that was another thing he Quigley helped me out with a lot, because he had a lot of drinking experience too.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, it'll catch up. It may not be now. It may not be 3 or 4 years from now. But when it does, it's going to hit quick, because it's just going to come barreling down.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, all right, well,
Got to slow down on that.
I'm going to
shit.
listen to you, but I'm also going to keep drinking.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of weaned myself off, and like, yeah, the mental space is so much better.
Good.
And then coming back out into the world and having like Bart or you and everybody else just showing like how thankful they are that I'm like existing, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe the world ain't so bad.
Yeah,
It
man.
feels good.
There's people in your corner, you know?
Yeah, and it's weird coming from a place where it's like you don't. And I put it all on myself. It's not like anybody like forced me into that corner. It's just one of those. That's just how my brain went.
Right.
And that's the life I was living, trying to do the best I could, and still getting kicked down. But then eventually things started rolling right, you know. And then of course I was surprised because this last month is when I started being more out in the public, more social on media and everything else.
I saw you post a few guitar videos, and then you commented on one of the podcasts. You were like, "That's sick," and then I direct messaged you. I was like, "Yo, man, I got to get you on here."
Yeah, I didn't even know. So I've been off social media for so long that I didn't know that you did these, and you already have several.
Yeah, I think this is episode 13.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Dan Marino.
Yes. There was one that never aired. Me and my homie Eric, we have to redo it.
This is 13.
Yeah. It's 13. But I got to get Eric Grant back on here, man. He's a good dude, but yeah, we'll get him back on here. I gotta have him tell his story. I probably should have just put the other one on, but it was just there were some errors.
Let me enjoy the 13 here.
It is for sure 13. It's the one that says 13, so it is 13.
Right.
So.
Fucking on.
It is 13. It's cool because other people can check in with you, you know? Like people that haven't seen you or heard from you in a while, they're like, "Oh, that's what's up with Tim," you know? It's
I thought
cool.
everybody would kind of just either kind of have forgotten me, or they would remember and just be like, "Oh, yeah, Tim. Yeah, okay, whatever. Don't remember a lot about him." But it was nice to have kind of, because I had Quigley and Candace really kind of, I worked with them at Code for a while, and it was just nice that they actually stuck as friends. And they're, like my people. Like, they became like my social supporting cast.
Mm-hmm.
They were reasons for keeping going. They were reasons to just stay on about. I mean, like I said, as close as someone like me and Bart could be, I didn't talk to him for a while either. Like a long while.
Right.
So, it's one of those where sometimes people don't reach out to you because they think everything's fine. And it's like, okay, well... And I'm not the type that you want to poke the bear and like reach out to just because, then I have that. I don't know why I have that mental block. oh, I want attention. But then when people give me attention, I'm like, no, leave me alone. The back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
The back and forth. So,
And people just get busy, and next thing you know, it's been a year or 2 years, and you're like, fuck, how's it been so goddamn long, you know? Time goes by.
Yeah, because there was a while there the time was just disappearing. Now I'm at a point where it flows, and I'm like, wait, for the first time in like 5 years, I can actually schedule to do things. So, yeah, by the way, apologies for being so late. But I've been...
no worries at all.
I've been trying to take in everybody, like, being so open to spending time with me. I'm like, this feels great. I like this, but I gotta...
Take it in stride.
Stride, piece by piece, and I can't... I have phobias of overlapping and not having schedules correct. That's why I was so mad at myself for being late today. But those were things out of my control, so I had to just... Fuck it.
Take it as it comes.
It's out of my control. I'll just be upfront and honest as I can about everything. Anything I can. Just here it is.
Lay it out.
You know, then that's why I would text you every so often and be like, nah, dude, I'm running, you know, it'll be late. And I said, okay, I'll explain when I get there. You know, and it just, you know, don't want to be rude or nothing, but.
Nah, no worries at all, man.
So, but those are the phobias that build up in my brain all the time. And it's.
Overanalyzing.
Over everything. Everything. So it's too much. It's like, I'm a perfectionist. Like, unfortunately, I don't know why. But super perfectionist on certain things. Timing, setting up dates, doing things exactly as I plan them, which rarely ever works.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to learn the whole, fuck it mentality was kind of weird.
Yeah.
So, I'm starting to get it. Sort of.
Good, man. That's good.
But, I mean, coming out to do this, I mean, I was so excited. I was like, oh, I don't know if anybody gives a shit what I say, but...
Hey, man, same with me. I don't know if anyone gives a shit what I say, but, I mean, this is for us and anybody who wants to tune in and they get to catch up with us.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, it's just
I think it's
cool.
great, man.
Me too. I think it's fantastic.
Great.
Fantastic. I mean, this setup is dope.
It's pretty sick, man. I'm pretty fucking stoked with it.
Yeah.
It evolves, you know?
Like, but it's so dope. It's so fucking dope.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Like,
and thanks for being here. It ain't shit without someone to talk to.
Well, it'd be kind of a weird podcast. You just talk to yourself.
Today, I'd like to talk to myself. I just edit it to where I'm over there and over here.
That's basically my give up. Like, that's me giving up for the evening. Like, I'll just talk to myself. Let me play on my phone for a bit. Here, YouTube. All right, bored with that. Facebook, nothing going on. Done with that.
Yeah. What's cool about podcasts is you can just tune in and still do something else, especially if you're listening to it just audio.
Listen to me.
On Spotify or something.
Stop what you're doing and listen to me.
Yeah. It's great. Or on a long drive or something, you know? You could just... I love podcasts.
That's what I was doing. Like, once I found... I don't remember how many... I think I only got through the first 3 so far.
Oh, sick.
But I like, I'd be playing Madden or just relaxing for the evening. Like, I'm done. I don't want nothing else. You know, nothing else to watch. Let me put on this fucking Orange Curb shit.
Sick,
see what's
dude.
going on.
Have you put it on the YouTube or the Spotify?
YouTube.
Okay.
YouTube. I am...
It's cool.
Behind on technology as far as going to a Spotify situation.
No, I'm just curious, yeah.
No, I'm curious. I am unfortunately simple.
Some people really like to watch the video, you know, and like watch.
I do too, because I'm always curious as to what and I'm probably doing a bunch of weird physical gestures, but like...
No, it's cool.
I like...
It's cool seeing what people do.
Some people are very handsy when they talk, and I like to see that too.
And some of them, you know, people are drinking or smoking or something.
Which one was it that they said... somebody basically sat pretty much still. I think it was Sean. Was it Sean? But he had like simple gestures.
Yeah.
Simple, like...
Yeah.
And I was like, cool.
Yeah, mellow.
And I want to say... Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not a good comparison when I've only watched the first fucking 3, but I will be watching the rest.
Sick, dude.
Except this one, because that would give me anxiety.
Nah. I like to watch them both. I don't... A lot of them I haven't really gone over, honestly, because I am in the episode, and then I edit the episode, and then I post a little description, and then I just watch little pieces of it to make sure it's all smooth or whatever.
Yeah.
But I also like to listen to just the audio in the car,
just
to check the mix.
I'm doing
and to critique myself. That way, I know for later, like, okay, that last one was a little. You know, you need to do this or that to adjust the audio or something.
It took me a bit because I keep wiggling around and doing all.
I think I'm finally getting it though. Like the last couple I did, I got the solid state recorder on the board, you know. So I was recording through audio interface to computer, and all that. But all this is going straight to SD on that mixer over there, like old school style, like solid state recorder. But the last two, I realized
Just a little more reliable, or what?
Yeah, like it won't be like memory full or anything. Like you could just record.
Or it won't like clip without you knowing, and then you have to go back later and be, we got to do it again.
Yeah, and a lot of something can happen with a computer.
That's
and
why I'm trying not to get too
close.
Lose
your whole thing.
I'm trying not to get too close, but I sometimes come back here.
No, it's good.
Like I'm trying not to.
But I realized on the last couple, I didn't. The way that board works, you have to record the mix down. So like after we're done, I'll have to like record the mix down.
And then send it over.
I didn't do that the last couple of times. So the equalization I did on the last couple of times wasn't there. It all comes in flat. So that smooth like radio voice EQ that we're getting in our headphones right now wasn't actually on the recordings last time. It still sounds good, but it sounds as good as it should.
See, and I'm like,
so now I'm like, okay, I gotta fucking record the mix down next time, and then it'll be there. Post equalization.
It sounds great in headphones, but I don't really care for the sound of my own voice. So I keep trying to.
Nobody does. Everyone's like, I hate my voice. Or like when you take a photo, you're like, God, I look like ass.
I don't hate my voice, but it's just I don't listen to myself enough.
Right.
Like I don't.
It takes some getting used to.
Yeah. So it's like as I'm getting more comfortable, I'm getting closer to the mic.
I've seen a few podcasts where people are like, they're just out of the headphones like this, and they're just more comfortable. But I kind of like...
Those people are smarter than me.
I kind of like just getting in, and then some people are one ear, like if you're doing vocals in the studio or something.
Ooh, that's
sometimes
weird.
It helps. You get a little room ambience, but you still get the signal. But I like just being in there for the podcast.
Yeah, me too, because it kind of takes away any little distraction noise.
You're just immersed, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think that, like... I don't want to say... that I didn't think this would go so smooth, but I thought I was going to be more shit than I am.
I think this one's going good, man.
Okay.
It's going
well,
great.
that's good. That's great. It's probably because I calmed down with a little bit of the vodka.
Nice. That was good stuff, though, that first round. I'm going to light one of these backwoods. And no, there's no marijuana in there, kids, even though marijuana is indeed legal now.
Well, in certain states.
For the most part.
They're trying to push through the federal to get that. But that fell through again, I guess. It paused.
Those
it's on pause because of other BS, but I guess
I've heard that the reason marijuana was illegal to begin with was because hemp plants they were producing paper with hemp, and like some guy like Rockefeller style, not necessarily Rockefeller, but one of them guys back in the day had a monopoly.
Are you talking like old school pre 1937 or whatever?
Yeah,
when it became illegalized.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody had like a monopoly on paper, and like other people were making it out of hemp, and they were like, no, like I don't want that shit being like, you got to shut them fools down.
I've never really found anything that was like conclusive on that being the exact reason, but I mean there was always things coming up. I mean, political world is absolute garbage. Really, just I mean even the CBD law that was passed in 2018, that was, I guess, Trump doing the I mean, could you imagine Trump being the one that like, let's try and legalize it? That'd be, politics are a messy game. God damn, that smells good.
Yeah, they're like
is that the berry one?
No,
is that a regular?
This regular.
God damn, it still smells good though.
Yeah,
a good cigar, and can't go wrong with that.
They're good ass cheap cigars, man. Like, I mean,
well, yeah, I'm not gonna say that they're high quality, high dollar, but their Backwoods has always been just a decent, consistent quality.
No, for sure. I mean, like you get exactly what you're expecting, and I like them better than a lot of like big fucking expensive cigars.
What I like is that
like for a cheap cigar, like this is my preference.
They're visually wrapped in a leaf. Like instead of like some of the other ones, like the wrapper is like kind of cut to make it fit, to make it full cigar look.
These ones are all rushed.
You can tell, you're like, wow, they just rolled up a whole bunch of leaves all together.
Rustic.
Who was it that Bar would always tell me that Ryan hated that Herbert the pervert?
Come on down here, Sonny.
Yeah, he would always hate that.
Boy, your arm.
Is that true?
It was Ryan. Yeah,
he would hate that.
He would hate on it.
He'd be like, "No, that's weird. Get out of here."
Yeah, that's funny.
That's great. Yeah, I only ever got like just funny stories and shit from when I was in Burning Sunday about like Ryan and shit. Not just him specifically, but just
all the shenanigans.
all
of
the shenanigans.
previous members,
And that was just one that was brought. I think I said something or made a reference to Family Guy or something, and that's when they were like, "Oh yeah," that we used to tease Ryan about that because he would always be like, "Ah," like that was funny. That was funny.
Yeah. I like tobacco every now and then. Like, I'm one of those weird smokers who can smoke and then not smoke.
Yeah, fuck you.
And, yeah.
I cannot. I was the full on like, well, I wasn't the motherfucker that would be like, I need my morning cigarette.
Yeah.
No, I just needed a cigarette at some point in the day.
To me, I'm like, ugh, a cigarette in the morning. I'm like, ugh.
But I was also the same.
Sometimes
dude.
I'd like it, but
Yeah.
ugh. Like back when
I don't
I'd
like
smoke
morning cigarettes. I always wanted the
more
cigarettes in the
often.
afternoon and in the evening.
I like the cigarettes
Specifically after meals.
when you're doing something like
After meals.
an event, like you go to a concert and you're like
Yeah.
all sweaty and thrashed at the end of the night, and you're like, man, just kind of like a little smoke before you hit the road back home or something.
Yeah. See, and
It's kind of like a cap to a good time, or like something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
this, where I'm like,
Yeah, cap to a good. That's a good way to put it. Cap to a good moment, good time,
Yeah.
good situation. Like I said, you eat a big meal, you want a fucking cigarette. You want to,
Thanksgiving,
go play a
Christmas.
goddamn show, and then you're just like, now I need a cigarette.
Oh man, I love a good smoke after a show.
And I'm kind of glad I lost that lust for it, but I still love cigars at times.
You don't have to have that one, but it's there for you
I'm
if you want it.
probably gonna have it at some point.
You know what's cool about this tray? Can you guess where this tray's from?
Is this a trivia question I'm actually gonna know the answer to, or is this rhetorical?
You actually might know the answer to. It's not like a store-bought tray. It came from somewhere. Very specific.
Your butt.
No, I can't produce nothing that clean.
I feel like it's a restaurant ashtray, like that's what it seems. But I don't think it's an actual ashtray, though, is it?
It is in this photo right there.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a light? Is that a light, like the little glass that protects the light?
Yep.
So that's not a real ashtray. I was right.
That is a light. That is the fucking thick-ass glass light cover.
For the dome.
From the dome.
I have a brick of the dome somewhere in my room.
I've got some bricks of it, too.
Because
And that wasn't when they tore it down, either. That was...
pre.
Someone was busting the shit out of it one day, and it fell. And I was pissed, because, I knew.
Was it the fucker that was like throwing shit up to the lights and like trying to kick in the door?
Probably. Yeah.
I remember there was somebody doing that. Like
Yeah.
at a point where it was like, why? Why are you destroying this?
I always knew. I was like, this shit's going to get torn down one day, and it's going to be because of
Yeah.
all this shit. And I knew, but
I
just had a feeling.
What makes me mad is we did all those shows for the dome to try and raise money for it.
Yeah.
And save it. And it was like a big old fuck you because they just slipped it and said, nope, we're demolishing it.
They didn't have any say, any public vote or anything. They just
nope,
tore it down.
Nope. They, like I said, that's all the political bullshit that
Yeah.
I'd get sick of.
We used to rent it. My mom and I would rent it just to
just to
put it on
use
the
it.
books to say that
Yeah.
it was rented, even though we didn't need to rent it. We could just go
Like, 'cause
barbecue down there. But
It was pretty beat up, and it could have used some restoration, but at the same time, with everybody that was fighting for it in the city, and then you just get rid of it.
it's a liability
Like,
issue.
they-
Let's
they-
tear it down.
That was literally the city putting their middle finger up to all the citizens. Just
Yeah.
like, hey.
And they could, it was
I shouldn't say that. I work
So
for
let's
the
say it
city.
wasn't handicap accessible or it was liability. It's like, for one, you could have made it safer, and you could have installed, like on that grassy knoll area at the top, they could have made that handicap accessible.
They could have at least built us something else before destroying it. So we had something somewhere.
It was so iconic, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I cherish this.
Yeah, one of my first
This is
shows.
one of those random items that's like, if it was like, it's one of the few things, like if you had to take...
I would have taken that too.
I would
have
take
taken
this.
that too, bud. I would have taken it too.
I mean,
That-
not even-
that is dope. I mean, you could use that for anything. Really.
When the light fell, I was like, that's fucking mine. I was like, I'm taking that. Like, fucking, like,
Smart move.
I was like, that's mine. But I'm talking now, out of all my possessions that I currently have, it's just a thick piece of glass that doesn't really mean a lot, to your average person.
Well,
But
that's
it's
why
one
when
of
you
those
asked,
things to me,
like,
it's
that's why I
like-
thought it was like a trick question. I was like, he's
Yeah.
gonna make me try and guess like a restaurant that he worked at that he got that from, and I was like,
no,
once you
man.
said the glasses and I saw the dome in it, and I was like, that motherfucker is smoking on the dome shit right now.
And I was gonna grab an ashtray because I haven't smoked in here before, so I don't have an ashtray because I don't ever smoke, and if I do, it's outside. But a cigar, especially a backwoods, smells good.
Well,
so.
you got to do the punk rock thing. Just fuck
Yeah.
it. Just do whatever.
I mean, I wouldn't be fucking smoking cigs
just like
in here, but
just like this guy over here.
yes, Jake Phelps. I don't know if the camera can pick that up. You might get some glare, but Jake Phelps catching a frontside air. Yo, shit, I'm rhyming over here.
So would you like me to bring out the piece?
Let's talk about Jake Phelps and let's see this guitar that you got here, man. So Tim brought a guitar, and Jake Phelps actually owned that very guitar.
Yeah, it's number 3 of 5. There's only 5 of these.
Let's see if I can
I
hang
guess
this
I'll
up, man.
see if I could do. I don't know if it's in the shot, but it should be.
It's in there.
It's a bit wobbly. I'm trying here. It's actually a lot of. Let me anchor it down.
Yeah,
And
it's in there. So it's one of 5 guitars, and Jake Phelps owned this actual guitar.
Yeah,
not just.
I got it through whoever was doing his real estate or estate sale after he passed.
No shit.
So from what the guy was saying, like he would use this for like his like punk band or whatever, and play it. And it's one of 5. It was the Chris Kohls signature Jackson RR24M.
I think his band's called Bad Shit, isn't it? With Tony Trujillo, TNT.
Off the top of my head, I don't remember. I just was told that he would take this to practice, and it definitely has some wear scars of a punk rocker swinging around a V.
Damn, I gotta look that up because I'm a fucking slacker. For those who don't know, Jake Phelps is the editor-in-chief, was the editor-in-chief of Thrasher magazine.
Right, which
And,
you can see there. Chris Cole, I guess, had reached out to his sponsors to talk to Jackson about getting custom mades. I don't know the full exact details on how it goes. But basically, Fallen Shoes, Thrash Magazine, Chris Cole, Jackson Guitars, all kind of got together to work on this. And I know Chris Cole was a huge Children of Bodom fan, so instead he had an EMG 81, which is my favorite. So I went ahead and switched out the pickup for an Alexi signature.
Yeah.
Just to put a little extra on it.
Sick, dude.
So
it means a lot to you in several ways because it's like Alexi Leo.
my favorite shoe company, my favorite skateboarder, and then the model is based on what my favorite guitar player would always play.
And it's a Jackson.
Yeah, well.
And you're a Jackson connoisseur.
Yeah, Jackson Rhodes was definitely something that Alexi played early on. They had his Wild Child guitar that got stolen, and then when he asked for more, like he was like, hey, I need some customs. They were basically like, we can't get them to you in that time. So he contacted ESP, and that's why he ended up switching anyways. But what's funny is I actually prefer the maple fretboard over the ebony.
Nice.
So Chris Cole seemed to have liked that as much too. So yeah, I mean, Floyd, one pickup. I mean, what's better than a V guitar?
Dude, that guitar is fucking badass. And
I
Jake Phelps played that guitar. It's
he
not
owned this. He may have even rubbed his dick on it. I don't know.
this exact guitar.
This guitar, it's number 3 of 5. So as far as who's told to me, this is the exact one that he had after he passed. They were trying to get rid of all of his estate stuff, and this was one of the items.
Yeah, and it is Bad Shit. His band was called Bad Shit, and it's with Tony Trujillo. You know, Tony Trujillo skates for Vans and Anti-Hero and all that. And Tony Trujillo's wife, Trixie Trujillo, was the drummer.
Nice.
So it was a 3-piece.
Well, then this was used for that, and I figured I'd bring it because you would appreciate it in the way that I do. That, you know, maybe a guitar player doesn't just know the skating history behind it, or a skateboarder wouldn't care about the guitar history behind it. I mean, because Chris Cole's favorite was, well, one of his favorites was Alexa Leo. I mean, they even have a music video of him skating in the background.
Yeah,
So,
I forget which part that is, but man, there's a Children of Bodom and Baker 3, Dustin Dolan skating to one of them tracks.
But it was Chris Cole that was like the super huge fan of him.
Yeah.
And I always loved Chris Cole. Like, just as I tried to emulate his skateboarding,
dude,
all
he's
the time.
A fucking wizard.
He was a hero. He reminded me a lot of fucking Aaron. Like, they had a very similar flow in the way they would throw their tricks, and I just always admired both of them for it. And then, you know, when you find out that one of your heroes loves one of your other heroes and vice versa, and you're like, fuck yeah, this is great.
It's just one.
And
it's
the
one
fact
world.
that this made its way all the way to Alamogordo, New Mexico is astounding.
Dude, it's an honor to have
Here.
that fucking guitar.
Fucking hold it, play it for a bit. Do what you gotta do. I mean, it's a solid piece of wood there. It's fantastic.
God damn.
It's just D-standard right now. That's what I was using, a lot of Children of Bodom stuff. Yeah. And it feels so good to play. That's what sucks, is it's so good to play. Because I don't want to take it out. I just want to leave it.
Yeah, man. We'll have to plug that bitch in later.
I'm down for it, dude.
Woo, dude, thank you so much for bringing that. That's cool as fuck.
Skateboarding and guitar history.
Man, y'all were in for a treat today. Woo! Me included.
I broke the bank buying it, though.
It was worth it.
Very. I mean, just for the history alone and for me to...
Hey, you can get more money.
Yeah.
Money, you can go make some more money.
But there's only 5 of those.
There's only 5 of those bastards out there.
And if I remember correctly, it was a contest winner got one. Not necessarily the number one, but he got one of the guitars. Chris Cole on the other. Jackson Guitars got one. Thrasher Magazine got the other. And Fallen Shoes got the other. And I just happened to get the one of Thrasher Magazine that he unfortunately passed away.
Damn.
So.
Shout out Phelps, man.
Right?
Cheers, Phelps.
I don't even have one poured. Here I am being a good not drinking person. We'll do that again. Let's do one more. One more for the fisheye.
That's right.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, man, to all them homies out there.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff, man. Good stuff. So what's up with guitar playing lately, man? You been jamming?
Definitely been jamming. Trying to just kind of challenge myself, put stuff out. Like, I mean, I put out like only 2 videos, but
Those were
like
dope. Little Bodum cover?
Yeah, one was Are You Dead Yet solo, and the other was the Pantera Walk solo, but that one was requested.
Oh, sick.
It was like, I put out the first one, and then my buddy Caden, shout out to Caden, because he's fucking awesome as fuck.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
He was all, hey, what about this? And I was like, you want me to play the Walk solo? And he's like, hell yeah, that'd be dope. It's cool. So I just went ahead and did it for him, and
That
yeah.
one's cool because it's got all that like the.
I fucked it up so bad, though.
That's got some flavor.
I don't know
to it.
how I missed the beat on it, but then caught up by doing a wrong slide. So
Hey, as long as you know where you made the mistake.
I thought I was gonna fuck up the little run at the beginning, after the like that little. I thought I was gonna fuck that whole part up. Nailed it. Fucked up the little hold and then slide.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so I know it's a mess. And if you really pay attention, you can tell. But it just so happened to fall. Nobody knows you made a mistake. Well, then it's not going to get called out. But I definitely made a mistake.
It was dope. It was dope.
That Bodum one, though, I got lucky and nailed it.
I came across that video. I think I shared it with you. That was like a memory. You know, Facebook gives you like a memory.
Oh,
and it was us
jamming
that track. Like you had like a drum track in the background.
Oh,
and
yeah. I just pulled it off the internet. Like I just played YouTube and then had my shit and then recorded that. And then we used that as the backing for us. Like it was a whole thing. But
that was cool, man.
That's
like that song has a cool vibe to it. Those riffs.
I just want to get back into doing that, is making cool shit like that. But I actually want to follow through and get it all. Because what makes me mad is I feel like it was a big missed opportunity with working with you. Because I was being such a booze bag at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'd come here, and it's like I'd start out, like, really wanting it. And then beer. But then I would not put them down. And I'd just keep going. And, you know, and then you become unproductive and nothing ever goes anywhere. So I've kind of felt like that was...
No, we can get back on it. We should do a track together.
I would do 20 tracks at least.
At least.
If you want, like,
let's do it.
If you're down for it, I'm down for it. And I'd even be happy to take those old songs because I still think about that one that we were working on that you wrote prior to. You had that little.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'll have to relearn how to play that, but yeah.
I have it somewhere too to kind of memory, but.
That was a badass song.
Yeah, it had a lot going on.
Like, yeah, real. Twitchy, yeah.
Yeah, it had, because what were you doing on that? Yeah, you were doing like a little pull on pull off type and I was just backing up with a jen.
It was sick, and then you came in with the harmonies and stuff, man. Damn.
God,
we had a click though, you know, because like with certain people, like you just.
It was easy because
you can see where I'm going with it, and then you're like, I know where you're going with that, and then you add a piece to it, and you're like, okay,
right.
yeah.
And that definitely makes an easier experience when somebody's like, you know, at least on par with what you can do or better or, you know, just slightly worse, whatever the balance is.
Comparable, yeah.
When you say, I want to be able to do this, so this guitar player needs to be able to do this, and when it's already there, because I would say we're pretty well even guitar players.
Right.
You may be a little more
of one thing or another, and then you're one thing or another.
Yeah, fat drunk slob. Yeah, that's fine.
Not even close.
No, but like
Nah.
there was always things that you had a niche for that were better and or just different.
Different.
From me. Like, cause me, I always early on I was very much into tremolo picking and hard picking and you know, like that kind of stuff. And then I also went into more whammy bar stuff, which on your end you definitely have like a more developed ear for like melody structure, which I thought was fantastic.
Cool,
Like,
man. Thank you.
like mine stays up here until I'd figured out. By the way, I started learning music theory because of the shit you kind of explained. You were like, "Oh well, no, you just got to look at it like this. Really, it's all just." What did you say to me? You said I was like, "I don't understand none of this shit," and you were talking about harmonies,
Mm-hmm.
and you were like, "It's just like a number difference, really. Like it's kind of like numbers." Because I think I had told you that like, "Oh, I'm better at numbers. I don't understand this or the notes." And you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"Don't think about the notes. Think about the numbers."
Intervals,
You have
yeah.
1 through 8. I think you said right.
Yeah.
1 through 8 to the octave, and then you said whatever's in is whatever thing you're. Oh God, you explain it so much.
I was
fucking
explaining
better.
it to my dad too, and I was like, well, if you can count to 7, you can learn all the modes. And,
Right.
and all
That's
that.
you broke
My-
it down in a simple.
My dad was all, well, I've been counting to 7 for a long time, so.
Right, but you explained it in that way, and I immediately clicked, and I was like, "Oh, I get it. I don't even have to worry about whether it's A or B or
You don't.
You know, it's just it's a note. It's a note. Now I can look at it like frets, like what you would see in tablature 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
And I go, okay, well, that's all I'm doing. My starting note will be the 1,
That's the
and,
one.
and then
yep.
you space it out accordingly, and then that's when I started getting into it easier, and I'm like, oh shit.
There it is.
God damn it! I just found minor third harmony.
That's it. And then you're like Metallica, Iron Maiden, like Judas Priest,
Oh,
all
my
the
God.
bands, and you're like those Boston,
Fucking death clock.
all those sick harmonies, and
just
you're
like harmony. Now I want a harmony every fucking.
and you can
thing.
harmony a fifth or an octave, but the minor third is the one. That's the one where you
There's
get that.
a minor third, and then there's like another one that's like the Well, it is the minor third, but it's Phrygian.
yeah,
in the mode,
Phrygian's the third mode.
which it sounds very dark Egyptian-y type.
Very
fucking
exotic.
awesome. Yes, and it sounds exotic but relative. Like
Uh-huh.
I don't know. How to like the harmony makes it relative, but the Phrygian makes it sounds exotic.
Yep.
And it's just so exciting to me to have.
And it's
that.
the same key and it's the same notes, but it's the way that the intervals are put together. Because
Right, because it's
Phrygian
what-
starts with a half step.
Yeah,
and
and
that's
it's-
what gives it that dark
And
tonality.
the only difference between like the normal, what you would call like what minor
Scale.
is
yeah.
it Aeolian?
Natural minor Aeolian.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Which would be the common one. Phrygian is similar, but it gives you the sharp 7. I think it's a sharp 7 or something.
Yeah,
Sharp 7 flat 1, or I guess you
I
could
know
call it.
what really does it is the dark color is this. It starts on the half step, and then it's the half steps that give it the tone. Like
Yeah.
where the half steps are placed. But I know what you mean.
Yeah, I'm not a musical like connoisseur of.
I don't know a hell of a lot either. I just know the modes and stuff. You know.
Well, you know more than me, and I don't even know all the modes, but I had to sit there and learn. Like, for me, I had to learn, what is the mode? It's this. And it's like, oh, open 2, 3, 5, 7. Like, go through the whole process and learn it across the whole fretboard. Like, I had to do it the dirty way
Yep.
to figure it out. And then I would, okay, what's it in B? Because I love to play 7-string.
Sure.
I had to learn it in B, trivium. God damn it.
Oh man.
Fucking love trivium.
Me too.
Yeah, so that's...
What's cool about all that too is if you know it, it just shifts to any key.
Yeah, my problem is retaining each particular one. So the only ones that I really have stuck in my brain are, unfortunately, from like Avenged Sevenfold with their D, like they'd play drop D, so they would play sweeps in D and stuff. It was in that key, so I would learn those easier from them.
A lot of times it'd be in D minor because it's already dropped D.
Right, and then
it
so
just
I
lends
would learn to
itself.
play that in a standard, like, well, the rest of the strings were standard. The top was D.
Right.
You know what I mean, though.
Yeah.
Drop D tuning. Period. You would learn the D sweeps. So if you played D in standard tuning, which would be way higher up, like you would still know those same notes.
Yep.
And that would apply. So I only ever learned like E, B, A, and D.
And certain keys really lend themselves to guitar playing.
Well, and
Like
what's
the
fucked
key of
up,
E, the guitar naturally is tuned to E, E
Right.
standard. So
the thing that
a
broke my
lot
brain
of Metallica and like a lot of like really the
Yeah.
stuff that we grew up on, Iron Maiden, all that kind
Yeah,
of stuff
yeah,
is a lot of it's in E minor,
surprisingly,
all over E minor.
I want to say some of those earlier bands played a lot in D though. or A. A
Yeah.
lot played in A, that higher chord.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice, TA. Yo, nice, TA.
Yeah, dude. But as far as like the tunings and the like arpeggios, whatever you want to call anything, anywhere. If you when it clicked that what you do is one way, you can totally flip how you call it every which other way, and that doesn't make any sense to anyone ever out there anywhere. But to a musician, where you say, "Oh, you're gonna play this minor Aeolian," well, if you change the key to etc., well, now you're playing it in Mixolydian or some bullshit.
Uh-huh.
Like changing the key changes some of the other shit and vice versa.
It's all
Like,
relative, yeah.
yeah. So it's really just what patterns are you following for your music? Do you want this pattern that makes you feel this way, or this pattern that makes you feel that way? And it's like, oh, okay.
It's like their colors, like
Yeah.
like a paint palette, and you're like you know, you can change
Right.
your colors, and you have a different variety of
Little-
sounds
a
that
little-
create a different feeling.
yeah, a little more blue in your green might push you towards a turquoise.
Right.
And that could be the difference between, like I said, Phrygian and or Aeolian. It's like one note that is shifted over.
And a lot of them are associated with certain genres of music, like Lydian and mixed Lydian. Like Lydian is a lot of like prog kind of stuff, where it's got like
But if you play that in that, like say you play that weird fucking thing in this weird fucking note. So you have, let's say Mixolydian, I guess, in
Mhm.
E. I don't know the translation, but you would play essentially, depending on where your starting and ending notes were, you could be playing Aeolian eventually in a different key. And those
Right.
are the exact same notes throughout the whole fretboard.
Yep.
And it's the same thing, but it's a matter of where you start and end. And
Exactly.
and then like the feel
The
that you're
placement,
going,
the emphasis on which notes you're coloring.
So music is all bullshit. It's
Yeah.
all made up nonsense.
It's one thing to know it. It's another thing to apply it. You know, that's another
Right.
thing. Like
And-
I kind of know, but it's still hard to like in context use it certain ways sometimes.
And it's great to listen to like classical players and how they can do, like they would do their normal run, like their normal melody, and then invert it, and you know just do all these different things with the notes, almost by number. Like it seemed like they did it mathematically at times, just flip back and forth. And flip it. So instead of doing this one up, we're gonna start on this one and go down.
There's so many ways. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like you
just
can play
so
it-
much.
You can ascend in the scale backwards down the guitar. Like you could still play an ascending run going
Right,
down
right,
the
right,
fretboard.
right. Yeah, yeah.
It's like what, you know?
Yeah, because I had
Because of the
heard
geometry of the strings.
there was one that I was learning about that. Like technically, if you play this one up, like you start on this note up here, maybe it's like 7th fret, 6th string, E string, you know, and then you do your run up. It's technically instead of Phrygian up, it would be it would be like a total note change down. Like instead of E, like what? See, it would be E Phrygian up, but if you did the run down, it would technically be E something else. A. It would be like Aeolian,
Mhm.
I think, or but you get what I'm saying. I'm sure nobody else gives a shit.
I think of it in numbers. So like if you're in E, like
Everything comes back into contact eventually, and whatever you're hitting is going to mathematically figure itself out.
yeah.
Like it really will. In the great words of Dimebag Darrell, I mean, if it sounds right, it is right.
Yeah.
So realistically, some people overstress. I overstress over it. Like, is this the right note? Is this what I'm wanting? Is this what I'm doing? But there are times where I could just chill and be feeling the flow, and I'm like, nope, that's what I want. Whether it's right or wrong, that's what I want.
Right, and sometimes you'll do a harmony or something, and technically the harmonized note is out of key, but it's the right harmony.
But it feels right.
So like on
You know what
sheet
I mean?
on
Like,
sheet music, it would be technically an accidental, like
Yeah.
a borrowed note from a different key.
Right,
But
right.
it makes sense in the context of
yeah,
the song.
and it just kind of does like a,
So-
sometimes you want to change direction, you know.
Exactly.
And that's why.
The good place of knowing that kind of stuff though is if you're doing like a home recording and you're like writing a riff or something and you're like I want to do a harmony and you're like well how do I figure it out?
Right.
And you're like a minor third, you go like a third up the scale, bam, there's your harmony. So like if
But
you know those basics,
most people don't know what third up the scale means. They would literally go 1, 2, 3,
like
like
frets,
half steps. Yeah, frets. It's not
gotta be
frets. It's full notes. So you do have to learn
the diatonic notes.
the only two. What is it? B, C, and E, F. No,
That's it. Yep.
Was that right? Did I get it on the first go?
You got it.
Hell yeah! All right.
Yep.
So those are the only ones that don't have the sharp or flat in between. So once you figure that out, those are the only ones you got to watch out for. If you're anywhere else, it doesn't really matter.
Yep.
For what you're doing, so definitely something cool. But I mean,
there are those epiphanies.
Yeah, sometimes
that like you realize. Keith and I were talking about this when we did our episode, but like. There's these epiphanies that you have where you're like, damn, if I would have only known that earlier.
Is he still a little fucker, fucking shredding everything? And
dude, you wouldn't believe that guy. He just mops the floor, dude. He just cleans house with his guitar. I'm telling you,
bro. I remember. Oh my god.
Yeah.
He was still like he could just doing all this crazy.
He's amazing,
shit.
Bro.
And Bart's like, hey, this kid was watching your guitar. I told him to watch you to play it one night, and then we were having practice, and he was watching, and I was like. What the fuck? Why is this kid watching me? He's so much better on technical ability.
It's because he's humble, man, and he just appreciates music, you know, and he can still learn things from other players, even if he's...
like my fucking backwards ass pick attack.
Even if he's miles beyond somebody else, he'll still pick up, like, because he told me, because he came over... I've known him for quite a long time, but...
See, and I never really
He started
knew him.
coming over playing with me, man, and... I was like, God damn, like this kid is sick, you know, and I knew he was sick, but then I saw him play and started jamming with him, and I was like, damn, like I need to step up my game.
Dude, I heard him noodle when he was younger,
because
I was like, no, he's gonna take my spot in Burning Sunday. What the fuck? He's like, but he could just play all of it.
The first time,
all of the notes.
The first time we jammed, we both left that night being like, damn, I got to do this or that. He told me the same thing about me. He went straight home and was like starting to do some of the stuff I was doing, and it was like.
Learning, experimenting.
Like I inspired him in some ways, but as soon as he left, I was like, "Yep, I need to step up my lead playing, like for sure, because it was inspiring. It's like, damn, you know." Like,
yeah, dude, he was, holy shit. Like, I mean, how old was he when he like? I don't know when he first started, but I just know when he was like, young.
He's one of them guys that's just always been
like he could fucking sweep all of the Avenged Sevenfold at that point. It was a point where he drove Bart nuts because Bart was like, I don't want to hear Avenged Sevenfold anymore. This dude just sits here and sweeps over all, like doing all this crazy solo. I'm like, how old is he again? Like this kid just gets it musically in his brain, like it's there for him.
Yeah.
Not only that, he's open to learning.
Yep.
And it's like fantastic. Like I just remember like because I guess at some point like Bart came back, he was like, yeah, I told him about your weird ass pick, and I was like, thanks, jerk. But yeah, in case nobody knows, I actually pick backwards.
Oh yeah?
Well, I mean, you saw my thumb from the dog chewing on my hand, so
yeah.
I pick differently. That's not what necessarily caused it, but it kind of did.
It's a trip watching different players.
Most people kind of pick with like their thumb over index and kind of da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Everybody kind of has their own style, but I actually pick like this. So mine is literally sideways. Da-da-da-da-da. And like I said earlier in this, I love tremolo picking, like that old death metal, black metal tremolo picking.
Yeah.
And that's what made it the easiest. Just
yep.
So I would always do that. Like that was my shit at the time, but nobody else liked that. CKY was actually a big
dude.
Specifically Darren Miller though. That dude isn't in the band anymore and they're off on their own, so I would follow Darren on some of his shit.
Oh man.
Because his riffs...
CKY always reminds me of you because you'd always bust out them riffs, man.
They were my favorite riffs, dude, especially with that octave. That octave pedal just, just hitting.
It's got that fucking sound to it.
Especially like Escape from Hellview and shit, like...
Oh, yeah. That's so good, man. It's so good. I love watching them old CKY videos and stuff, and then the music in the background, you're like, God, this is so good.
I was actually playing that earlier this morning.
Sick.
Like, I love it so much. Like, and I wish they could reconcile. As far as I know, like that dude got jumped by the rest of the band.
Damn.
So I don't know the details, but they ain't ever talking again. And unfortunately for me, I'm a Darren Miller fan. I'm gonna follow his ass.
Yeah.
He's the one who made me pick up a guitar. I thought it was a bass.
Yep.
When I was first starting, so I was like, "Oh, I want a bass guitar," and my mom was like, "Are you sure you want a bass?"
I'm telling you, man. If you're a good bass player, you got a job, man. telling you.
I'm willing to
Bass
play bass in your band.
Good bass players are hard to find, man.
I can follow the drummer.
Yeah.
That's what I'll do.
Bass players and drummers. I mean, I know it's cliche and everyone says it, but it's the truth.
I totally would, though, because you get to run around and be silly. Because, like, as long as you have good rhythm and stay in the pocket, I have terrible rhythm. That's why I am not a bass player.
Nah, you got good rhythm.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, but we'll just agree to disagree.
So, bands of all time, man. What really got you hooked? Other than obviously CKY.
CKY was definitely the thing that made me ask for a guitar.
Yep.
That made me say, I want to do what they're doing. I want to make that noise.
How did you find CKY? Where did you?
Fucking Matt
Roberts.
I believe it was that fuck. I'm pretty sure it was him.
Your friends always show you the coolest
I would
shit.
love to say it was me, and I found it on my own, and I discovered. No, I'm pretty sure it was Matt. It was Old Skate Shop. Actually, had the old CKY video on VHS.
Yep.
But it was Matt's fault for me being in that situation.
Yep.
So yeah, it basically, like, we kind of discovered it about the same time, but he also had an older brother that knew about them.
Mm-hmm.
And would kind of tell him. So he'd be like, hey, let's get that. Because I'd be like, hey, I have some money. I already got my board. What skate videos should we get? So I think it was, they had like a CKY Volume 1 cassette, like VHS, old school. Oh my God, I'm so old.
Yeah.
And then they had, what was it called? Shit?
Yep.
With fucking Preston?
It was the filmer.
I just remember seeing, I think it was Preston, the fat dude, on the cover, and it said shit.
Yeah,
And then
I think it's the well, he might be on one of them, but it's the filmer guy.
Well, no, it was a white cover.
Yeah.
That I remember, and I think it said shit or something. And
It
it
did.
had a fat dude in his underpants, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
It did.
So that kind of drove me away. I'm like, I don't want to see fat naked people in their underpants. I want to see something different. And I can't remember the other videos. I think there was like 2 more. One I didn't know, maybe a Spitfire or something. I don't know. And I think another one was around that same era of skateboarding type thing. I can't remember what they were, but the CKY one looked funny because I think it was Brandon getting smacked by Bam on the cover or something. And it said CKY in a cool little scratchy orange and black outline. And I was like, all right, well, Matt said something about his brother like watching this or something. I think that's what happened. I just remember the VHS. I still have it at my house somewhere. Watch that. The real thing that got me to like CKY, but I didn't know who it was Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. That definitely came from Matt.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I love the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater games. And he was like, oh, well, I have 3. So, and,
Yeah.
it had the video with Bam Margera, and it had 96 Quite Bitter Beings.
That's the one.
Yes.
Everyone knows that one.
Yes, and that's the song that kind of triggered me. I was like, what is this beautiful music in my ears? Fantastic, and I loved it. Definitely different. It was different than everything else, because what I had grown up with was like everything from like Motown to 70s, 80s, just everything pop. Like I was definitely a big like Def Leppard and Joan Jett fan. Like I fucking loved that shit.
Sick.
It was just on point for me, and I loved it. But there was a point in my life where I was like, I don't know why or where it came from. I just was like, I want something meaner. I want something angrier. I didn't know what it was. And then all of a sudden,
it's just being a young kid, up and coming teenager, man. Like aggressive music just is attractive.
Like, so I had certain things, and I didn't realize that music on video games or movies was real music, quote unquote. Right? Like I thought, oh well, that's video game music, or that like I put it in that file.
Yeah.
So I would forget about it a lot. There was tons of punk bands and stuff that I love. I didn't realize how much I love fucking Bad Religion until I actually looked them up and I'm like, this is my favorite punk band. Period.
Yep.
That's my favorite. I mean, with you on there, fucking Tony Hawk's 2.
Yeah, Tony Hawk 2.
Tony Hawk's video games, by the way, got me into more music than I could even realize.
Oh, yeah.
As a kid that sheltered themselves.
There was a little documentary or something. I think it was but it was the band Goldfinger.
Oh my
Superman.
God, they are so awesome.
And he was like, man, we were playing shows and we were getting some coverage and whatever. And then he's like, that game came out. And the next time we played a show, everyone came out of the woodwork. And he's like, dude, what just happened to our band?
Exactly.
And it's like the Tony Hawk game put them on the map.
Right.
You know?
And that's what happened for me with a lot of these
and
bands.
It put that music into our homes.
Yeah. And that was even before, like, a lot of that was before I even, like, wanted to skateboard. I just thought the video game was cool. Because I had no friends. I was like, oh, well, Mom, I'd like to play this game. So I'd play some Tony Hawk. You know?
I was just learning that song "No Cigar" the other day.
Oh, nice.
The Millencolin song, and I was just like, I love that fucking song, and it's because of that game. I wouldn't
See,
have known
and
that
that's
song.
where I kind of learned the CKY stuff, and that's where I kind of became a super fan of theirs. I wish I could have seen them live. Never got the opportunity, and I don't care to now. I mean,
if it happened,
I'd
cool,
watch.
but-
I'd go to a Darren Miller show, but it still wouldn't be the same. Like, it wouldn't reignite that same flame of having Jess Margera and Chad Ginsburg.
Yeah.
But, and I still respect what they're doing, but it's still not CKY, because really it was Darren Push and all that. Like, doing his thing. Nobody's using a constant octave pedal to make all their riffs gritty as fuck. So
That's
for
what
me-
makes a guitarist, like, you know, is like something unique,
Yeah, definitely.
like style.
but
Like,
being their own way, and he has almost like a
same with skateboarding. You could have the flashiest tricks or whatever, but it's like how you do
Chris
it.
Cole.
How you do it
The
matters.
best way, Chris Cole
Like someone like Dylan Reeder or somebody who's
or
got
Chris Cole.
style, you know. Like one of my favorite skaters is Torrey Pudwill, you know.
Oh, dude, that
And just because the way he skates, not only his bag of tricks, but just his pop, the way, like his clothes, his shoes.
I used to get
his
scared
vibe,
watching him,
his
dude.
personality.
like on
and
those old videos where he would like go like
fuck.
1,000 miles an hour and do like a tray flip into a lip slide. Scared the shit out of me watching him do that. I was
It's
like,
like if there
holy
was
crap.
one dude if I could skate like that, would be like that. I would be him. I'd be like, I want to emulate Torrey Pudwill skating.
See, I'd be
'Cause
Chris
he's-
Cole, but I'm Chris.
Yeah.
I'm Team Chris Cole here.
That's right. You know, everyone's got their, you know.
Plus, we could jam out to some Children of Bodom while doing so.
Plus, there's a lot. I mean, it just goes on
Yeah.
It just goes on and on and on. But
Yeah, so as far as your question about like the pillar bands, like there are certain bands that triggered me to go in certain directions because once I was kind of like I love Def Leppard and like I said Joan Jett and like those old school bands. There was even a couple like Kiss songs and stuff like that I really liked, but it wasn't till I told myself I like want something heavier and I don't know why. I don't know what this itch is. I want something heavier, and then I just found out about Linkin Park.
oh man,
And that was my first like
fucking love. Linkin
I was like,
Park.
oh, this is heavy, but it's not heavy enough. I want more.
Yeah.
And that's what started my dive into heavy metal, like
metal
all of metal, like not just certain
subgenres.
like not just bands that are fed to me, but go find bands.
Start digging out and yeah.
Yeah, and then I mean, just band after band after band. I'm like, yes, this is great. And then even in high school, where I find older kids that are like, hey, check out this band, Bleeding Through, and I'm like,
Sick.
they're dope. Wait, you can do in a song? This is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I found so many. That's the one thing that kept me social for a long time. But then, of course, with like media and internet and all that, that kind of died down in the high school years, just because it was so prevalent. Nobody really cared anymore. Instead of being like, oh, hey, here's a CD. I do remember a kid handing me a scratched up Megadeth CD that changed my life, and that was the Countdown to Extinction with Symphony of Destruction on it. Yeah.
Influential, man.
Yeah. I mean, even Metallica with their Black album.
Oh my god.
As a kid, I never liked their music, not because I didn't listen to it, but it was because Enter Sandman's music video was scary as shit to me when I was little. So I never truly listened
Embraced
to them.
it, yeah.
Yeah. Because I was like, oh, this is going to give me nightmares. But then once I started, actually learning to listen and enjoying the music for it, not focusing on a scary-ass music video at the time.
That's
so
one of my favorite albums of all time.
like the most songs I know are from CKY, Metallica, and Megadeth, probably. Like those are the ones that kind of stick with me.
Yeah. And then you got out further, Children of Bodom and Trivia.
Oh my God! Once I found Children of Bodom and it linked me. I love classical music that just has crazy runs of arpeggios and shit. Like I absolutely love it. Didn't realize I loved it, and once I found Children of Bodom, it was metal and that smashed into one. The first one I heard from them was the blue cover album, Follow the Reaper, which was
Sick.
like Follow the Leader from Korn, which I was a big fan of Korn
God,
too.
dude, Korn is so sick.
They were sicker back in the day.
Dude,
Maybe
even,
not live, but album wise, I enjoyed their music. Early on, it was so angry and in your face, simplistic.
They're one of those bands you put it on and you know it's Korn immediately.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I made that comment to my sister one point when Head left, Brian Welsh, when he left the band, because he was like my inspiration for learning new shit, and that's why I ended up with a 7-string right away. He left, And when that new album came out, my sister was asking me how it was, and I was like, well, it's good, but it doesn't sound like Korn. Like, it doesn't... And she's like, oh, okay. And she listened to it, and she came back immediately and was like, I see what you're saying. It doesn't have that same every member involved feel of... Here's that eerie little noises on the high end, like...
Those trippy sounds, yeah.
Yeah, like that scary shit. And then with a big thump later. Like, it wasn't lacking that. You know, you had Twisted Transistor and stuff. And it's like, oh, it's not bad.
It evolved, yeah.
Yeah. And so it was... And losing him for the sake of him getting mentally better, nowadays I can relate easy. I'm like, it makes perfect sense.
Sure.
Because, I mean, one of their angriest albums was that fucking Take a Look in the Mirror.
Yeah.
And you had, like, Right Now and Y'all Want a Single and all that. And it was, like, very aggressive, and I loved that.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get to, you know, missing a member, the dynamic kind of changes, and that's when they started doing... Like, I didn't care for anything they did after that. I didn't mind that album, The See You on the Other Side. I didn't mind it. And I actually saw them live without Brian Welsh, and I was kind of bummed because I was like, well, that was kind of my guitar hero on Simplicity. Like, I wanted to see him. Didn't get to... It's not that they put on a bad show. It was a great show. Great live performance. Now, I've heard horror stories of them earlier on in their career when they weren't as good, but
yeah, they
were fantastic when I saw them. He was definitely one of my guitar heroes. So definitely Korn is on the list. I mean, I can't walk around and have somebody not say something Megadeth, Metallica, or CKY to me. So those are like my pillars. But the ones later that really drove into my bones would have to be. Well, I mean, let's start with just the biggest one now is Trivium. Like that's
you and me both.
Yeah, Trivium.
I fucking love Trivium, man, hands down.
I've only seen him 5 times.
I've seen him 4 or 5 times myself. Yeah.
El Paso, like what was it? El Paso and Albuquerque, the main two, where it's like back and forth.
I've seen him 4 times.
Watched him in Albuquerque with Arch Enemy. That was sick as fuck.
Yeah, I saw that one too.
God, what was
the Sunshine? We ran into each other that night at the bar at the top.
Was that El Paso or was that Albuquerque?
It was Albuquerque at the Sunshine Theater.
Okay, sweet.
That was sick as fuck.
That was a great.
It was like, show. Oh, homie from Alamo. It was you and Eddie, huh?
Yeah. I think I bumped into you when you were running to the mall. You're like, I want to get up to the front of the stage. Oh, I was like, no, I gotta wait in line for gear. I want to buy some of their merch. That show was sick, dude. Oh,
something hits me, you know, when like you see all that and you're like I'm later, like start swimming through people and just like I just get the itch, you know.
Fuck yeah.
Only at the clubs though, not like the big like giant fucking concerts. I'm like, yeah, I can.
I don't like people brushing up against my shoulders.
I can stay off to the side, but the small tight club places with the bar upstairs, I'm just like a couple of beers and I'm just like, dude.
And I'm upset with myself.
I'm fucking jumping.
I had the opportunity to meet them in El Paso. The second time I watched them, the first time I watched them was Slipknot, Coheed and Cambria, and Trivium.
Sick.
They were still with Dean at the time.
Damn, that's back in the day.
Yeah. Fucking sick-ass show. It was fantastic. And that's what really got me hooked, and that's why I'm so hooked on the Shogun album.
Yeah, I was going to say Shogun era.
Yeah, that's the one that dragged me in, guys. That's the one that dragged me in.
Everyone has one that really hooks you in, you know.
Yeah, that's the one that hooked me in, but I loved everything else they've done.
And then you go forward and backward in time, and you dive into all of it.
Yep, every single one, dude. They were
It's
all
hard to pick
fantastic.
a favorite.
I can't.
So hard to pick a favorite.
My favorite thing about Trivium is there is not a song I hate. There's not even one I dislike.
I can listen to all of their albums just all the way through.
Yeah, from first album, first song, all the way to last album, last song.
When we used to have the Curb Appeal skate shop, I would sometimes I'd be in there and I'd go in there at night and I was doing some paintings and stuff. And I would just put Trivium on. And I'd be doing like these paintings of like these trees and stuff. And I'm just listening to the fucking metal, you know, like doing these like little paintings and shit. It's like Built to Fall, man. I already see
You're built to
you could just hum the riff and I know that shit, dude, you know? Fucking love Trivium, man.
Oh my god, yeah.
In Waves, I love In Waves. That whole album. In Waves is one of my favorites, and
I love the documentary to it too. How they're just kind of like,
it's dark, and they were using like film for their influences.
Yeah, it was so nice, like very different than everything else going on. It was fantastic.
That's when they found, like, they're you know the story.
Well, because they got away from Dean Guitar, so they felt more comfortable going back to their own companies. Which Matt was Epiphone and Corey was Jackson. Which I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, Jackson. By the way, I have his signature in my house.
That's right. The 7 or the 6?
I got the 7.
Nice.
I fucking love it. I got it on it was a new old stock
Oh yeah.
for real cheap. So I was like,
Fuck it.
I'll buy it. It had one little blemish on it, and that was it. And I'm
Fuck
like,
it.
but it's matte black. Who gives a fuck?
It's
But
still-
although the one downside of Core is he likes the blackout pickups, and I fucking hate those pickups.
Seymour Duncan
Seymour
blackouts.
Duncan. I just fucking hate them. They're too low end thumpy. Like they really push the low end. It feels like I just can't stand them. And I know some people can't stand EMGs, which I fucking love.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to talk about EMGs?
We can. Yeah. Talk about them.
You want to talk about your old blue guitar?
Oh yeah. Let's talk about it.
I put EMGs in that, but not standard EMGs. I put the Marty Friedmans.
No shit. Sick.
So they're actually passives, but they kind of play closer to like a in between of an 8185.
Nice.
There's a lot of warmth to it.
I like passive pickups, man. To be honest, after all the experience, I mean, I haven't had much experience with a whole lot of different things. But
I love 8185
I like
or,
the
or just
roll-
81, but I prefer. Oh, I don't give a shit about rolling off volume. Fuck that. That's what pedal boards are for.
I like the roll off and the dynamic.
I
the
understand
dynamic
what you're
of
saying,
passive
yes,
pickups.
which is totally understandable.
Yep.
But I find myself never needing to use that,
We'll have to-
or to use that artistically in any way.
Right.
No, my dumbass likes to fucking boost it with a second battery, so I go 18 volt on everything.
No shit.
Yeah, and it tightens it up. It's quick. It's squealy. I love it.
Wow.
So I can do, you know what I mean? Like it makes it easier for me, especially with a chunk of my thumb missing. I can hit squeals a little easier.
Nice.
Be a little more Zach Wild like.
I never even knew about that. Doubling that up to voltage, man.
Yeah, you can
Damn.
go up to 24, I think.
Holy
On
shit.
EMGs, you can go to 24. But they like realistically, I watched a video on YouTube about like the sound frequencies. Really, when you have the 9 volt, it's one frequency and it pushes so hard, etc. And then if you go to 18, it boosts it to a certain area. But if you go 24, it just kind of gets fizzier. Like it doesn't really change anything. But I love the tightness and the response of
The 18.
the 18 volt. Like I just don't feel right without it. Like
Sick.
I used to think passive pickups felt lazy in playing, like they weren't aggressive enough, so I went 81. Loved it, but then once I discovered that you could push it a little more, now I feel like regular 81s or any regular active is lazy in sound to me.
And feel.
Now I've heard people that can play passive pickups like an active, like it just comes off that right way. I do not. My hands don't play the sounds that I want to hear without that 18 volt 81 in there for some reason. Like that's just where it sits for me.
Everyone's got their voice, you know.
Yeah, because I've heard people play mine and it sounds like shit, and then I've heard people play stuff that was like a passive pickup through a mildly distorted amp and it sounds like gold in their hands.
Yep.
Some people just have that particular tone set in mind and it works for them. Me, no. I need something that's just as mentally aggressive and squealy as I am in my brain.
Nice.
Something that I can play lightly and it'll do what I want and not have to worry. Now it does come across as very compressed, so I have to kind of have a little bit open range in my amp itself. But
Yeah, man. There's nothing like a thick wall of like the 81 though. There's a thick wall, especially for like that.
see, and some people would disagree with you. Some people would say it comes off as thin and lifeless.
I think it's like, especially for rhythms, just heavy rhythms, you know, like maybe for like lead work and stuff. You might, I don't know, want more dynamics or like.
You know what's surprising is I
Roll
actually
off or
love
anything, but-
I love the EMG 8185 more for cleans than I love anything, because what's weird is a lot of guitar players actually like to have cleans that they use a compression pedal to compress when really all you need is an EMG, and it'll actually put you in that spot without any pedals.
Nice.
So it gives you a very consistent like I'm sure you've had it to where you switch to a clean channel and it's got certain high notes ring real chimey, and then you don't get a good thick chunk, or vice versa. With the EMGs, it keeps it all pretty much
Level, like
level.
a compressor.
Yeah, it brings down those highs, so it's not out of this world chimey or
You
too
don't
thick
lose the
and
low
chunky.
end.
Yeah, like it kind of keeps it at a very moderate. Yeah, you don't get the expressiveness as much.
I never thought about it like that. Yeah.
But like for me, I have angry hands. Like I'm pissed off half the time. So, like, yeah, the anger will just come through naturally.
What kind of rig are you running right now? Like what's your signal chain and shit? Like for the most, like maybe if you're switching it up
A
or
lot.
what's your go-to?
Well, if Bart would get me on crunch caps. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, sick! Shout out Bart, man. With them crunch cabs, though.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God, he's gonna sell so many of those goddamn things. I'm buying one. That's what my plan is to get a crunch cab now.
Like a 212 or a 412?
No,
or?
412. Still undecided on greenback versus EVH, but
That EVH stuff is so good. Oh, man.
man, and listen to them play today with green jelly out there, green jello, whatever you want to call it. Oh my god, I mean, that was sick. I wish I could have seen some others. Shout out to Wayne too. I missed his band.
Oh no shit.
They have such a cool style, like such a cool. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like it's very I enjoy listening to it. Like I really do. But I missed them. I missed a couple of other bands, I think. Managed to get there, catch Burning Sunday, sick as fuck. And then it was after that they had a couple of like hiccups where the fucking PA went out and shit. But other than that, it was a fantastic show with Green Jelly and all that.
Sick.
Aggressor, dude. Fucking, it was awesome.
Dope.
But as far as rigs go, yes, that's Bart's already sold me on a crunch cab. That's what I want. But if anybody out there wants to get a small, simple, cheap one that sounds really good, go ahead and go with the Harley Benton, just like the YouTubers are talking about. That
Harley Benton 212 with Celestian.
212. You can get the standing or the down one. It's got the Celestian Vintage 30s in it. It does have a little less thickness to it because I don't know. To me, the wood doesn't seem to resonate well, so it like the bass kind of just leaves it.
It's like particle board versus like birch or MDF.
Yeah. See, and
whatever.
that's why I'm kind of looking at one of these crunch cabs because it's like all birch poly or whatever.
Right, the hardcore
birch
shit.
ply.
The real deal.
Not poly. I'm talking paint and fucking wood and yeah.
No, that's
but
good.
But a birch ply. It's from what I read, but I'm an idiot, so that's what I want. I mean, they basically make Marshall cabs, but you can pick the speaker.
Nice. And it's all made in the States.
Yes. As far as my understanding, it's all made by the one dude, and
homies make it in their garage.
I don't remember his name, but to tell you what, you go look up Burning Sunday, look up Bart, you could easily find crunch cabs.
Yeah.
And I definitely, man, and hearing him and Sean play through those fucking things, the cleans are just so perfect. Like
really?
The cleans are so, like, it almost makes me want to be in like acoustic almost. Like it's so nice.
Damn.
And then when you throw in the distortion, I mean, like throw on their fucking distorted channels, it's just ripping and it cuts through really well.
Nice.
And it's got enough thickness, it's got enough high end, it's got enough mids, but it doesn't let anything get squirrely from what I've heard from them. But that's other people's sounds, that's what they're dialing in.
Right.
My sounds typically go squirrely, so we'll see. But
you got your own thing going. Yeah.
But I mean, if the Harley Benton that I bought, the little thing, is great for home and jamming out and not getting squirrely, well then something
even better is going to be even
that's
better.
built with parts like that. That's a little bit, road ready. Yeah, that's what I'm. So, yeah, Bart definitely sold me on those. So I'm running. I have a Randall 4x12, but I don't really use it. I'm not playing live or nothing. I would love to. I just got to figure out a band situation. I got to figure out where I'm going musically, but really just my pedal board. I got the photo on there.
Yeah.
So
you can send me a screenshot of this later, and maybe
we'll put it up.
I'll find a way to throw it in the video here.
Yeah, it was. I want something that I can have all hooked up. Yeah, it's a heavy motherfucker, but I mean,
sick,
at least it's got wheels on the case,
like flight case style.
Yeah, definitely.
So you got the Joyo controller that runs everything, and then you got
Joyo PXL Live. Just, I mean, I know. Online, even Bart's done a video about his, and I'm usually a copycat. I'll wait to see somebody else use it, see how it goes, and then have them explain it to me, and then I use it.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with this. Is Bart did that with somebody else. He was kind of like, oh, I want to see how this kind of goes. Watch videos online. Oh, I like this. I'm gonna get it. And then when he did it, showed me. Then I copied his ass.
I was looking at those too before, to be honest.
Those are well worth it because you can switch between, like, I can MIDI control digital amps, and I can also do triggers for solid state and or tube amps.
Yep, you could change channels and add effects, take effects out, whatever you're changing.
And
exactly what you want.
Right now, what I could do is I could use this pedal board on any amp.
Yep.
Because I have all the cables for it. I have it all wired up. I mean, I have the one spot powering all my pedals. I had a noisy pedal at one point, and I thought it was
The
just
pedal.
because I had a one spot, just the cable with a daisy chain, and I thought it was that because most people say, oh yeah, if you have that, it's gonna cause noise. Thought it was that, so I went ahead and went one spot anyways, which I still feel better mentally. Like I feel more trustworthy on the power being dispersed more evenly and individually on the one spot, like the brick.
Yeah.
So that each one is individually grounded. But it turned out it was like the shitty delay pedal I was using. So I had to take that off, and I ended up putting a Joyo delay on there, which unfortunately it darkens up tones, so it can bring down the highs a little bit, but it's still a great pedal. I mean, I'm using the Joyo, green whatever the hell it is. It's basically
A delay?
no, the overdrive.
The overdrive, like the tube screamer type shit.
Yeah, it's a tube screamer.
Yeah.
Straight up tube screamer. It doesn't sound any different.
Just to
than
boost the front end?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's got a lot of the same components just crunched into a tiny little Iron Man pedal.
Yep.
So you got the cap, top it over. Same with my chorus. I mean, I only use the chorus into the delay on my cleans.
Chorus.
Yeah. Why does this say chorus? Damn it, Bobby.
Chorus.
No, yeah, it's very simplistic pedal. I mean, I run straight into my Morley wah, which finding a wah that fit my pedal was the hardest part.
Uh-huh.
I want wah just for when I want to wah.
Gotta have it.
So, I think it's the Bad Horsey 2 Mini is what it's called.
Sick.
And it's one of those because I fucking hate click wahs. I fucking hate them. They sound great. Fantastic.
But you have to click them on.
I don't want to click them. This one you just step on and it goes when you move it forward. Like it recognizes movement. It's an optical thing that like a sensor that I don't know.
It just knows when you move it. It gives you wah.
Yeah.
When you're not moving, it stops.
Like and it's got like a tiny pinch of movement where it won't activate. Like I've noticed where the spot is, which is fine.
Uh-huh.
Because that means you can have your foot on it and wiggle a little bit. It won't do nothing.
Cool.
Perfect. But you can once you kick it on, like you know what I mean.
Once you give it some, it's there.
You put your foot down, it's immediately on, and it's fantastic. I did not realize how much I would love Morley pedals.
Sick.
Because online, it was always like the tone sounded weird when they were wahing over stuff, and I was like, once I got the George Lynch Dragon 2 pedal, which that one sounded killer, but it was much bigger, took up too much space. Once I found this one out, that one it has a little sweep, you can dial it in, which is fantastic. So I run into that. The wah is technically outside of my Joyo foot switcher, which basically changes all the channels and what is being fed into it. Nonsense. You could have a million pedals, change them up how you feel on your channels, all that bullshit. But basically, I have an overdrive, chorus, not in this order, just on the pedal board. You guys will see the picture. I have the overdrive, a chorus, and then a delay, and then up on top I have the octave pedal, which of course we talked about CKY. That is why I found it, and I love that pedal, even doing other stuff. And I found out like 3 Days Grace is another one that would occasionally use that.
Sure, yeah.
To thicken it up, and it sounds fantastic. I love 3 Days Grace.
What kind of chorus pedal is it? Which is it like a Boss or a...
Oh no. The first three. So the overdrive, the chorus, and the delay, which has multiple settings on that delay. You could have a delay / chorus, but those three are the Joyo Iron Man Mini pedals.
Okay.
Which I love them because they got the little thing that covers all the knobs. You don't have to worry about it.
Sick. You set it and forget it, and they're...
Best phrase ever. Set it and forget it.
Yeah.
Set it and fucking forget it. Love it. That's what my pedal board is derived from. Set it and forget it. The only thing is I got to do is plug in, and I color coded all my plugs. I don't know if you can really see that.
Yeah.
They got yellow, blue, and red. So I know this goes into this plug hole. This one goes into this one. Then I just copy it on the amp.
There you go.
Yeah, simplicity. Other than that, I'm just using, like I said, the Boss Octave.
The classic Boss Octave.
No, it's not. It's
not the classic.
It's the newer one.
Like the Wazacraft or some shit? Or
I can't remember what no, it doesn't say Wazacraft on it, I don't think, but I can't remember which number it is.
Oh, okay.
Because there was the OC2, which is what CKY used a lot. Like Darren Miller would use the OC2. I had the OC3 for a while. I think that's either OC5 or OC8. I don't remember what number.
Whatever. Yeah, it's the Boss.
It's the newest one that has like it can track every note individually, so you could play chords.
Polyrhythm.
Yeah, like I could play a power chord and it would
or
pick up
polyphonic. It's not monophonic. It's polyphonic.
It's truly polyphonic to
There
where
you go.
each note would be octaved, essentially.
Individually.
Yeah, instead of like the OC2 would just do one note at a time. You could play a chord, but it may only pick up certain spots.
Right.
This one is supposed to be truly poly.
Sick.
So I use that one. I fucking love that pedal. It's great. And it's so much range to dial in how much thickness and in which note range. And so you could literally be turning a knob and get it off of the G string or the B string, whatever you want. Or you could dial it up as high as, making that high E do a fucking octave. So
Sick.
It's very simple to use, very awesome. Another one is the Sentry noise gate is what I like to use. That you can have it shut the fuck up or you can have it just let things squeal by.
Nice.
And I love to run my rig hot. So,
you,
hot pickups, hot pedals.
Do you like gate it through the front and the effects loop, or just one or the other, or like how there's like double gating?
It's 4-cable method.
4-cable method.
Yeah, so I shut it up in both places.
Nice. Nice.
I like to shut up the amp because I don't like the hiss per se, but I also like I would let an amp hiss for days if I could shut up like squeals or the boop. Everybody knows that noise.
Yeah.
It's fucking annoying.
So as soon as you stop playing, it's quiet.
Yeah, I can dial it in that tight or I can dial it in looser.
Loosen it up.
Like at home, I'll leave it loose because I want, when I'm playing like higher up stuff, sometimes it kills the note. I don't want that. So every once in a while I'll be doing a rhythm and it'll do like a boop, like a little boop.
But it's fine at home.
Yeah, at home it's fine. But it like if I were to play it live, I'd probably crank that shit up just to chop it off.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely sensitive to how much you're driving through it. And I mean, bedroom volume, it's not going to drive it enough to keep it up high.
Nah.
Live, I've seen Bart's settings compared to mine.
Yeah.
And I usually try to keep up, like live settings wise, I usually keep up with Bart as far as certain settings go. And I'm like, wow, yours look like polar opposites. Like mine's like here and yours is way over here.
Yeah.
All the way up, So I could definitely see why I would change it live. But I don't like the chomp gate. Like, I don't like it to just chomp down and cut everything off. So I actually have it dialed into...
Kind of smooth. Let it taper off.
It does like a dying whimper. Mm-hmm. So, like, I've noticed on some, if I have it too tight, it kind of does it on some chords. It'll like, yeah. But it dies off weird. But it definitely helps the high notes. Like, when you're doing the squealy, like the high note, 24 fret, fucking... You're trying to hold that note. It'll let it slow, like... I can't necessarily
sets it down easy.
It'll dive it instead of just chopping it. So that's what I love. And then of course the best tuner I've ever had is the fucking Polytune tuner.
Sick.
It's so accurate. Even to my ears, it's like on point. And I'm like, oh, cool. The whole thing's I'll do guitar setups with that thing and everything's flawless. It's astounding. I love that pedal. And then of course, when I wanted to go from just doing my digital amp, because I use the Bias mini amp, which is like a 300 watt amp. You kind of create your own tone digitally, which I got mine in, which is like a super boosted Marshall / PV kind of sound. And that's kind of what I'm going for. Like something like a little less fizz than Van Halen, but a little more crunchiness, but pushed really fucking hard. Mm-hmm. So it's hard for me to explain what I'm going for, but that's where I'm in the realm of. So when I added
because it's a modeler.
Yeah, it's a modeling one, so I had to find the right speakers.
It's modeling an amp that's kind of like like you said, like a boosted Marshall.
Right. So,
but like 5150-ish.
And if I'm recording or doing something digital or going straight to front of house, it would have an emulator for either Celestion Vintage 30s or Celestion Greenbacks in a cabinet. And I have that set up to sound really good, but usually I have that off.
And you run into your own cabinet.
My own cab, yeah.
Yeah.
So in order to go from a digital amp to say, like, I just found, like, I didn't just find them, but I just bought one of the Joyo, what the fuck is that amp called? I want the Jackman. The Jackman is the one I want, and I didn't buy it. I bought the other I can't remember what it's called. It's supposed to be based off of a Mesa.
Okay.
Like a Mesa rectifier style. That one still sounds great and killer.
Nice.
Just a little too muddy for me. Like I want the Jackman, which is based off of a JCM.
Okay.
So a Marshall type overpush. So I want that, but I was doing that, and I was like, okay, well I have no way to boost it for a lead if I need. So I bought the Spark Mini, threw it in at the end of the chain on the pedal board.
The Spark Mini is a boost.
Yeah, it's just a clean boost and DB boost, and it is fucking loud.
Sick.
You barely turn it up, and you have lead.
Dope.
Like, it is way too easy to use. What's neat is it has a weird effect that I will never use. It is some pedals have like the momentary or latch or whatever.
Uh-huh.
This one you can click it on, click it off. or you can step on it and it'll stay on while you're on it.
Okay.
And as soon as you let off, it goes away.
Right.
So you could use it as like a momentary thing. I have no purpose for using that, but it's neat that it's there
That's
if I
cool,
want it.
yeah.
And you don't. That's not a thing you have to mess with or switch. The pedal just knows
One way or the other.
Yeah. And apparently it's been around for a while.
Sometimes you get a thing and you're like, I wouldn't really use it or whatever, and then later on you're like, oh no, that's cool. Like you have the option, and then it becomes a use.
Yeah, it's just there.
But you never know.
Yeah. The only one I don't think I mentioned now is the harmonizer, which I could set, like I talked to you earlier about the
thirds and
thirds. I could set up all the harmony, and now I know how to set up those harmonies and what I'm looking for with
There you
that
go.
knowledge. So you don't need music theory, but it does help you to get where you need to. All you got to learn is like the basics and understand.
yeah,
Because if it sounds right, it is right. But at the same time,
it can help you get to where you're going faster.
much faster. Once you kind of broke me of that stigma, I was like, oh shit, I know how to get to here right away. I know what I'm looking for, and I can find the notes so much easier. But it's like I don't use that to be creative.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm trying to be creative. What's stopping me to find this sound? Oh, well, it's because I want this type of style and I need this range of notes. Here you go. So it's basically adding
It's a roadmap.
an extra paint color or paintbrush to your hand while you're doing a canvas.
Mm-hmm. That's cool, man.
So the only other thing is the harmonizer with it that I would do that, but for the most part, I just use it for squealies. Because
Nice.
you can use it as a momentary, like if I step on it, I can have it go up or down like a whammy bar, and I just set it to go up to do squealies, either like Dimebag on some of his songs, like oh my god, that's a sin right here, forgetting the goddamn Pantera song. You know what I'm talking
Cemetery Gates.
about? Dun, 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 dun,
Oh, Becoming.
dun. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Damn it. I had the song in that. I could play it. I could play it, but it's like I can't think of it. Yeah, like playing that or like Gojira, because I fucking love Gojira now.
Sick.
That band is so awesome. Simple, but powerful.
Right.
And like their song Stranded uses that because it's got that dun, dillin, 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 and it like really fucking hits that high end on it.
It's very distinctive. Yeah. You know it when you hear it.
Yeah, and it's just I like that song is what made the final decision for me to just say, fuck it. I don't want to pay all those fucking hundreds of dollars just for a whammy pedal that's too big and won't fit on my board. So let me get this Boss little pedal that you can set it up to do either that or harmonies.
Okay.
So well worth the money, does multiple things.
And it's the Boss.
Yeah, it's the I want to say it's a Boss PS5? I don't know. It's a PS, like PlayStation.
Sick.
It's a pitch shifter. Is what that is.
PlayStation. Oh, pitch shifter. Okay.
Yeah. And that's why it's kind of... God, it's a good thing they're not paying me to talk about it. Keep forgetting everything.
No, it's all good. And then you're running the Bias Mini. And then what's the other? The Joyo amp?
Usually I use the Bias Mini. That's typically... Because I dialed in the sound on it so... in my realm of what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I do enjoy the fuck out of that Joyo Mini, like the Joyo.
What's the form
Meteor?
factor on that one? Is it solid state or tube?
It is a one tube, as far as I'm aware. It's a 112AX7. So it's a tube amp. And it comes through like a Mesa, but a small Mesa, like a Mesa rectifier.
Does it have a power amp? Like what's the, if it's 12AX7 is usually what, a preamp tube?
Yeah, it's a preamp tube that pushes a solid state board that's created to emulate amps, certain amps, whatever.
This is kind of like a hybrid kind of thing.
I mean, it's literally like small little lunchbox amp. You've seen the what are the orange? I'm seeing orange in the corner.
the Micro Terror or Terror.
Yeah, the little tiny terror.
Tiny Terror and the Dark Terror.
It's the same size as that essentially.
Yeah.
But it's cheap Chinese labor, I guess. I don't know,
Right.
but they fucking do it well.
Goddamn Chinese.
Whatever Joyo's doing, they need to just fucking keep doing it because everything they do is fantastic from what I've experienced.
Sick.
And it's cheap Chinese stuff.
Hey, if it works, it works.
As far as I know, and like I said, that the Joyo heads work great, and they like I said, they had a whole line of the first ones that came out, just standard ones, and then they had the two new ones. They had the one that I just got, which I think is like, I can't remember what it's called. It's based off of the Mesa, and then they have the Jackman, which is the JCM replica, They have those two, but they're 2-channel, and you can even buy them with a little pedal that'll switch the channels, which makes it super easy. Especially, so if you want a super cheap rig that works really well, you can get the Harley Benton 2x12. You can get one of those Joyo head amps with a foot switch,
And you're set.
and that's not even breaking like $500.
Nice.
And you could do something that's live if you want.
And of course, your Joyo pedal that you have would switch the channel.
Yeah, I have it rigged. You got to dial it all in, but yeah,
You gotta
mine
figure it all
does
out,
the
but-
exact same thing as that little switch. Yeah, because I have the cable, and it's got this. But PXL Live is the greatest controller pedal on the planet.
Nice.
You can do pretty much anything with it. It's got 8 banks and 4 channels each bank,
Nice.
so I could dial in. Like on mine, I have like 4 different bias channel or
4 banks of 4.
four banks of those. I have 1 bass rig set up because the Bias Mini also allows me to make a bass amp out of it.
Sure.
It's got the bass setting, so I could make it a bass amp. So I have one that has bass stuff, and then I've also got one set up for just doing a trigger on solid state and or tube amps that are different. So I could literally play on any amp anywhere.
Yep.
Really. I just got to plug it in.
Sick, man. Any like recording stuff that you've been doing, or little demos, or home recording, or anything, or?
I got real positive on myself for a little while. Yeah, I actually I have some really cool shit that's just sitting there doing nothing. And I mean, it's monstrous. Like, to me, that was the epitome of what I was going for. And like I said, it's just sitting there, not doing anything. And then I just kind of stopped because I got bummed out because I feel like I had nobody to share it with.
Uh-huh.
That was kind of, the sheltering situation. That I just didn't share it, and I kind of... Yeah, now I'm kind of depressed thinking about it. Like, I should probably try and get that pushed out. I have this dream of having like my own band running and going, being like Tyrannotron. Fucking, yes, that was the active name. I wanted to combine something I love, like dinosaurs, with Psychotron from Megadeth.
Sick.
And then that's why I kind of wanted the Tyrannotron name, but then I was like, I don't know. Nobody else is going to like that as much as I do. Nobody's going to want to join that. So I left all that project to sit and waste. I have like pretty much, I had at the time 4 full songs set up, done. Like, I even bought the Easy Drummer bullshit to fucking try and do all the drum shit myself.
Uh-huh.
I bought 2 bass guitars to play the bass through it myself. Just do all of it.
Yep.
And I'm not technologically inclined on a lot of that, but I was figuring out, and I have, I enjoyed the fuck out of it. I really did. It's just I had nobody to share it with, and that's the part that bummed me out. Like there was no...
Like as far as creating it together?
Creating it together and sharing it with people who actually cared.
Because I think even if you made it all by yourself and then shared it, like, people would care. They would be like, that's sick. Like, check out this thing that Tim made. Like, it's tight.
That's where my self-doubt comes in too much. Like I'm like, nobody's going to give a fuck
I'm like,
about this dude.
like, a lot of us would be like, that's fucking dope.
You're going to post it, and then everybody's going to, whatever.
Like, I made a few shitty songs that are out there on
That
out there in the
that
world.
have a bajillion lines. People be like, yeah, fuck yeah, Pat.
Because everyone called me my friend Pat, So that's the name of my shitty band.
Was that Bart that started that?
It was Mike Leone.
Was it Mike Leone?
It was Mike Leone going to Bart and being like, yeah, dude, my friend Pat.
Because he would tease me about saying that too, and he's like, well, he's my friend too.
Okay, yeah, so it's multiple
Because I'd be like,
tiers.
God, what was it? It was when I was with Burning Sunday, when I was in the band, and I would something would come up. Oh yeah, my friend Pat would do. And he was like, yeah, he's my friend too. Wow, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so Pat. Now, in perspective, I actually don't just have one friend named Pat. Because I also am friends with Pat Mayfield.
Right.
So, like, going
Different
from...
Pats, yeah.
So if I was talking to Daniel and I said Pat, he would think Pat Chasm. If I talked to Eddie and said Pat, he'd say Pat Mayfield. So I would distinctively say my friend Pat from this, I would have to divide it up. My friend Pat, that's fucking great.
Yeah,
is that like a full song thing?
Yeah, so there's like 3. So far, there's 3 shitty songs out there.
Oh my god.
I'll have to share them with you later.
Yes.
but they're kind of funny. But it was
Yes.
just stuff I did all by myself, you know, just fun. Bullshit.
Oh my God. That is.
I got same thing, dude. Same thing as you. I'm sitting on so much material that I've had that I'm like, some of it's like I'm not capable necessarily of doing all the parts. Like a lot of it's like heavier stuff that's like, man, I need like a drummer who's more capable than me on the drums.
That's the same thing.
And I could go down the road of like programming it all, but like I don't know
How
a lot
much do
about
we have
all
to
that,
pay
you know.
Ryan?
Dude, I straight up tried to. Yeah, I won't even go down that road. But I did offer him one time. I was like, dude, you know, whatever. Because like I don't know. I
mean,
was
you
like, I'll
can-
straight up fucking pay you to do a song per song, you know. But
I would chip in.
yeah,
Is that motherfucker gonna do it? Or is he just being all?
I don't know.
I'm a doctor now.
I keep fucking bugging him about it for years, and
Oh, that's the other one I watched. Was with Ryan on here. That was the first one, right?
so I tried to just leave him alone about it. Now.
Was that the first one?
Yeah, it was the first one.
First one was Ryan, because I remember watching him. Yeah, that fucker.
He's a bad motherfucker, man.
Goddamn, being smarter and cooler than everybody else.
Fucking sexy motherfucker. You out there. You out there.
God damn, dude, just listening to some of the tracks he could lay down was fucking.
He's a beast. You go from being a guitar player in your bedroom to being a goddamn metal band. Like, you're like, goddamn. Like, having him behind you is like a fucking, like, you feel like a like rolling across the land with him.
Okay, I'm a god now. All right,
Yeah.
let's fucking do this.
You're like,
Yeah.
I thought I was kind of cool
But-
by myself until I had him around, and I was like, yeah, holy shit, like, we can take over the world.
You know,
kinda shit.
Bart might correct me on this.
Having a drummer like that, man,
But
is, like,
has
priceless.
Burning Sunday never had a like actual bad drummer? They've all been pretty fucking solid, badass drummers.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, I guess you could exclude anyone, but really, I mean, you had
The only bad drummer they had was Pat when he did that one show with them that one time.
Pat.
No, me.
Oh,
I did one show with him. At
I
the
heard
Rabbit
about
Hole.
that, but I didn't see it. But I heard a lot of good things about that.
It was fun, man. It was
Like-
fun as shit.
Nice.
I didn't have much time to get ready, and I can't believe I pulled it off. But
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like they never had bad drumming, really. Like it's always been. I mean, let's face it. They've had the best drummers come through this town. Go to that band. I mean, you had Ryan. You had Devin, and then I mean, oh come on, Devin, fantastic.
of course, Larry been holding it down forever.
Way to ruin it. I was saving best for last. My favorite has always been Larry. No disrespect to anybody else, but Larry, that goofy motherfucker, laughs and has so much goddamn fun.
He's always been cool, man.
Like, yeah, fantastic. Not only can he play everything, anything, he does it with a smile on his fucking face, and I'm just like, God damn it, dude! How are you being like? Like every show I've gone to, like he'll always catch me in the crowd, make eye contact, and do like a big O cheeser, like look at me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, you fucker, you're doing that on purpose, and this is hilarious. And he's still just fucking nailing everything. It's fantastic.
He's a great guy, man. They're all great guys.
Yeah.
They
I
kept
mean,
it down, holding it down for a long time.
every single one of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fuck. I mean, it's weird that I like for so long I could never find any drummers anywhere, and it's like the only one I knew about was Ryan, and that was only because like, you know, just hearing it through everybody else.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, okay. And then you start discovering them. It's like, fuck, these people are badass. Like, they got some fucking skill. Well, how do I get them in my band?
It's hard. It's hard to put a band together, man. It's not easy.
Oh, man, it's not. You know, but I still think that one that Wayne's in right now, I think, is a good up-and-coming one, which will be
Sick.
exciting.
I need to check them out. dude.
That Demolicious.
Right
It's
on.
fucking sick, dude. And the dudes in that band are the chillest, coolest motherfuckers.
Sick.
Yeah, for reals. I mean, like, their drummer's on point as shit. Their bass player is the coolest, like, punk bassist I've ever seen in my life. Like,
Badass.
he can sit in the pocket so well. It's great. And then it's no disrespect to anybody else I've played with. Because fucking Nico is the god of in the pocket, just fucking thumping.
Right.
But yeah, their band fucking sick, dude. Their singer fucking wails.
Dope.
Like it's sick. Yeah, there's so many like good things coming up from people just coming out and doing music, and that's what I want to be doing too. But I just want to be in the right headspace, be in something that I truly enjoy doing, and it's just being out there. Like, you know what I mean? I'd like do good like all these motherfuckers do. Like everybody I named doing like out there doing some good shit,
Yeah.
making people feel good. That's what I want to do too, but that's not me.
It is. You just got to get back on the horse. You were out there for a while. You'll get back out there
Fuck
again.
horses.
You'll get out there again.
Every time I'm around a horse, they want to bite me. I don't know why.
You gotta
I'm a dog
find
person.
find the right group, you know, and you know, either put one together from the ground up, or find someone like me. Like I tried to put one together from the ground up for a long time, and it was just, you know, a lot of resistance. And then,
Dude, I mean,
plus it's me being picky and me being like, oh, it's got to be this way or that way, and everyone has that.
I have that same problem, but my problem is I bail out. Like as soon as that thing triggers in my brain, I just nah.
And I couldn't
do
commit. I couldn't commit to ever joining a band. But after playing with Keith a lot, he mentioned a few times, he's like, you know, we need another guitarist and whatever. And for a while, I was too busy. I was finishing up school.
I saw that you had joined them, and I was like, well, fuck. Okay, elitists. Goddamn.
And I was
Let's
doing
take all these
other
badass
stuff.
motherfuckers.
And I was reluctant because I was like, I'm afraid to commit and then bail out later. Like you saying, bail out.
That is the exact same feeling I'm having right now.
And,
That is exact. Like I don't.
but I was like, you know, if you
don't
don't do this, you're never going to fucking do it. And so I was like, you know, and it's Keith, man. And it's
Yeah.
like, you know, like I've known him for a long time, and then those other dudes, you know, like I've gone out and seen them before, and I've known Keith and Larry for quite a bit. And,
See, and I don't really know them too well.
I just kind of hopped in, man, and like it turned out to be one of the greatest things that I never, like, because at first I'm like, it's not originals.
It feels good.
It's not originals, and
But
it's not what I want to do. That was my original thing. Was like,
Right, right.
reluctant.
See,
But I was
I'm probably closer to where you're at, as I'm past that feeling, but at the same time, it's like I'm not feeling certain things right now. Like I'm not. I feel like I let myself down by not forcing my own way through, and I feel like I want to make my own way. However that comes to be, who knows? But I kind of get what you're saying. Like, I don't.
I set myself aside, and I was like, you know what? You know, you have an opportunity here. You can be in a band with one of your good friends, and you know, family, basically family, because
right.
my brother and Keith's sister are together, and they have a child together. So Keith and I have the same nephew.
Fair enough.
And I've known Keith. I knew him when he was a real little tiny kid. He used to live next door to me, back out in Dunnigan a long time ago. I didn't really know him. I mean, we were both little kids. I was a little kid, and he was a really little kid.
Fair enough.
But then, like, we came across each other later on, and we've been jamming together for probably about 5 years now.
If there's somebody in there, I mean, that dude fucking shreds.
Yeah. And also, I knew if I'm going to be...
Shout out to Keith. I don't even know you that well, bro, but I've seen what you've done.
If I'm going to be playing with people, you might as well be playing with people who are good.
Well, see, and that's the problem with me is I gave up too many opportunities.
I was intimidated.
Like playing with good people. You know, like Scott.
I'm still intimidated.
Fucking drummer Scott.
But it pushes me to get better.
Fucking Moose.
Yeah.
That dude's a fucking beast.
Dude,
and it's like, and I've had opportunities, but it's just like every time I manage to get in a situation where everybody's getting together and we're just starting, I bail out. And I mean, I think that was... like a big part was my depression and my back injury just making me more depressed. I can't even blame my back injury for making me physically unable to do it because I'm losing feeling in hands and whatnot. But I mean, really, it's just that kind of same mentality that stuck too long. So I'd like to get out of it. I would.
Yeah, so you need
Music
to get back out there.
Yeah. I'm trying to put myself in the mindset of music anywhere, anytime. Just play. Just fuck it. Just
Yep.
You know, and that's why I'm trying to divvy up my time, especially now that I'm just now branching out again to reach out to old friends and whatnot. So yeah, music anywhere, anytime is what I'm trying for, but I hope nobody gets mad if I say no. You know, hey, come jam with me. Nah.
It's got to be something that you're invested in, like emotionally.
Yeah, and it sucks because, I mean, it's like there's only so many people in Alamo.
Right.
And it's like I'm not going to go fucking searching for people in Albuquerque to do anything.
Mm-hmm. It's too far, too much of a stretch. And...
yeah, simplicity is where I'm kind of stuck at. So definitely a simplicity basis of...
Well, I want to do a shred collab with Alamo guitarists.
That'd be dope.
So we'll get you on there. We're gonna start this soon, man. I got.
Oh, okay. You want to ruin it? Yeah, let's put me on it. Yeah,
No, so we'll get everyone together. I'll make like a backing track. I'll like organize it and like do the mix and all that, and then like we'll come up with a
sick,
section, and we'll be like, all right, from here to here is your section, whatever you want to do.
You're gonna put me after Keith, aren't you?
I don't know.
Fuck.
I don't know.
Yeah. I saw that smirk. You're like, no, yeah, I'm gonna put you after Keith.
Right after Keith. Follow that.
God damn it.
Nah. We'll all have a hard time following that motherfucker. But no, it's cool. When you're chasing something like that, it makes you step it up. I mean, that's what it's all about. So, I mean, I play second guitar in the 7-stone, and I have to sit next to that motherfucker. But it makes me be like, well, Pat, maybe you should work a little harder.
but they're covers, right?
All covers.
Okay, yeah. So then you can just be like, cool, I got the easy job. But if it was originals, then you should feel like you're not putting in your piece.
Yeah, we'll see. Like, yeah, I mean, I think that's where, I don't know, if I have any sort of strength, it's in writing, So
You definitely have melody and ear, which is
so
something that is not common. And that's something that has like drawn me to your guitar playing, is something that I was big on, like, brought up with like Motown and all that kind of shit, is a very good melody structure. Things that are, you don't have to focus on we're heavy to be heavy or we're fast to be fast. We're just us and we're using a lot of melody, but we do enjoy heavy or fast or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's kind of where I want to be. But at the same time, I don't want to be spreading multiple fucking facets of, we're going to go from this style of song to this style of song. No, I want those styles implemented into our songs, per se. Which
Right.
is a weird...
No, I know what you mean.
So
Well, shit, man. Let's get on a track together soon. We'll do the Shred collab. Bart wants to be on there. We'll get Keith on there. I'm going to try and fucking scout some more guitar players. You'll be on there. Me. Try and find some guitar players in Alamo.
So it's going to be like, oh, Tim's going to either go after Bart or Keith. Thanks, bruh.
It'll be dope. It'll be dope.
It does sound fantastic.
We'll get a couple bass players on there too, and just like whatever happens.
Well, okay, here's my good guitar mind acting up. What kind of rhythm track are you going for on that?
I don't know yet. I'm thinking of just something pretty, like, not to throw words around, but like dynamic, like, something that's got some chill parts, and then something that's got like a hook.
You want everybody to do something different.
The backing track will be the backing track, and it'll have a range of different. It'll be like a, kind of a song that takes you through a journey. Like, it's got some calm parts, builds up, pre-chorus, chorus, goes back to that one thing again.
Okay, so you just want to build a guitar Bohemian Rhapsody.
It'll be a song underneath it, but it'll...
A guitar Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, maybe.
Mama.
Just those shred collabs. You've seen the fucking Jared Dines fucking shred collabs.
Well, it sounds like you're trying to one-up them.
No. I mean, it ain't gonna be nothing that gnarly, but it'll be.
But he really has like
check it out.
Basic song, like not even a full song, but like riffs behind, and then people just do what they want over them.
Yeah.
Now, are you trying to build like a full song, like an 8-minute song of just different people soloing and doing whatever they fucking want over a full Bohemian Rhapsody piece? If you're not as good as them, then it's gonna be crap.
No, it's like there's professional skate videos, right?
Right.
And then there's the skate videos we made. So
what do you say?
So it's just
those skate videos that you didn't invite me to. Is that what's going on?
it's our version of what we want to make.
Okay, fair enough.
So it might not
be.
What I'm saying is it might not be Jared Dines shred.
I know. I'm over here poking.
It's
the bear
not going to have Angel
but...
Vivaldi. It's not going to have Matt Heafy. It's not going to have all these fucking Tosin Abasi. It's not going to have Jason Richardson. It's not going to have dude from Polyphia. It's just going to be me and you and Bart and fucking Keith and
way to track my name.
Some of the other dudes that we can find around the neighborhood.
Guess I won't find a band now.
But let's do a track together, man. For sure.
I'm down.
And with that, man, anything else? Any closing thoughts or words of wisdom, or if you could fucking leave the viewer with something that you've learned, man, or something that helps carry you through.
Fucking shit, bitch.
I like it. I like it. I'm serious.
I know I remember that from you from somewhere, but I don't remember where.
It was my video part on that epic skate video.
Like, you're just all fucking shit, bitch.
Fucking shit, bitch. I'm just testing this video mode out and shit, bitch.
Oh,
No.
that's what it was. A camera.
God damn it.
Camera test. Oh my god.
It's like the first clip I filmed with that little point and shoot fucking camera. Just my stupid face.
That's fucking great. Yeah, I mean, last words. I wish I had something inspirational. Just find your own focus. Everybody's got a different path. Nobody walks same and or realistically a similar path. There are some that are close, but you just got to do what you got to do. Find your own way, get it done. Don't worry about offing yourself. don't worry about the dark side. I mean, if you're worried about offing yourself, don't do it. That's it. Don't do it. You're better off don't do it. You're just passing your hurt on to others. And that's the one thing I've learned from getting over my depression. If there's anything I can pass on from this, there are people out there with dark moments, and you may be one. You got to find a way to let it go. Find something that makes you happy, whatever it takes. Be good to others. Be good to yourself. Don't. Just don't. If you feel you want to click your own off switch, don't do it. There's somebody that it'll hurt more than it hurts yourself. So.
Which ultimately means that you're loved by somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without getting anybody's hopes up, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, regardless. I mean, if I wouldn't just, like, thinking about it offhand, I wouldn't think that you would be upset about it. Like, if I just...
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, see? But I don't know. I'm not in your head. I don't control your brain. I don't know. I have a lot of demons swirling around, and there are people out there that have their own demons swirling around.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody has the same demons. Nobody has their demons talk to them the same way as somebody else. Some demons are very convincing.
Yep.
Which is like, again, from the beginning when I started. That's why I'm not currently ever going to own a gun. Maybe one day I'll be mentally healthy enough to do that. But till that time, no. Because I know some people made it very clear. I am lucky enough to have people voice it out to me that it would hurt them more than it would hurt me. So offering myself to stop the pain doesn't do it.
No, hell no.
That it doesn't stop the pain, it just passes it on.
My thing is, we're all going to check out one day anyway, so just ride it out.
Well, that's the depressing part.
Ride it out.
We're going to check out anyways, well, I'll just do it anyway.
That's what gives life meaning. If you lived forever, you'd have forever to do whatever, and you'd just be lazy and complacent, but
just find something that brings joy. Find something that brings happiness. For me, that really kept me steady and stable was finding my dog. Like, when my sister brought me that boxer as a little puppy, for the last 10 years has been like the thing that she has been my angel, my little dog, peanut butter,
Nice.
Fucking, that's been like, when I reach the bottom, that's it. Find something to latch onto. You can always grasp your way out. Fight your way out. That's what life is. Finding joy, finding what makes you happy. But I tell you what, ending it quick just hurts those around you instead of making it easy for you. Yeah, it makes it easy for you, but well, do you really want to hurt the people you love? Nah, nobody really wants to do that. Come on now.
Fuck that. So let's all have some good mental health shit, huh? Let's be supportive of each other. That's right.
We don't need no negativity.
Yep.
It'll come on its own. We just gotta work through it.
That's right.
Be with each other, help each other. Fucking do right. And the great words of, fucking Keanu Reeves. Be excellent to each other.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Hell
Tim,
yeah.
thanks for coming, man. I
Well-
don't want to force you to take another shot.
Oh, I'll just click. I'll take another one off cam.
Yeah. Well, shit, man. It's been really good catching up, man. And let's do a track together and hang out more often, at least.
Definitely.
We're doing a show coming up May 27th. If you want to come out at the VFW, super chill vibes.
I gotta get access to that though. Yeah.
You can come in. Like we'll just sign you in. I don't know how it works, but the public can come in.
Okay. Well, if I just go there, then they don't let me in.
No, we'll let you in. Yeah. Or if
yeah,
not, you can text me or call me or something, and we'll make arrangements, and I'll just have you come
You
in.
bitch.
It'll be fine.
Hell yeah,
It's
dude.
not like I'm a member, but I can get you in because they're letting
band
me
performing.
in.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, you just walk in the back door.
That'd
or
be
whatever.
fucking sick, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
So it's 2 or 3 weeks from now, and we got several more coming. But bring out some of them old recordings too, man.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Oh, I would love to work on those.
Let's do it.
Nail them down and actually like find a name, put out an EP, just for the shits. Like,
just for
not even-
shits.
Yeah, let's do it.
Fuck yeah.
I'm down.
Right on, man.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Love you guys. Love you, Tim.
Woo!
Thanks for tuning in. Y'all be good. We'll check you later. Fuck yeah. Good stuff.